So, let me try. Actually, let me try this.
Are they fighting each other? Oh, I forget that they fight each other.
Any better?
Am I any better? Better? Better! Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Too much back down a bit. Oh, now I'm too loud.
Okay.
More like distant. I'd go a bit higher. Well, okay. Honestly, it sounds like we're getting there. We're finding the sweet spot.
We might be getting there. We might be getting there. Let me check one more thing. I don't know if I can actually make you louder though. I think I've reached my I think this is kind of the limit.
What happens if I don't actually know if I get experience from this? Attack me. Oh, I did. Wait, are you gonna attack me now? Hey Jesse, yeah. So the sound issues are with Joppa, not over here. Hey Bronson, how are you doing?
Any better?
Any better? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look, oh, I'm glad to hear that. The game looks fabulous on high settings. I'm glad to hear that.
Okay.
See, I do have.
Then we're gonna roll with this. We're gonna roll with this.
Okay. Yep.
And you know what I mean.
Hey Chris, it's good to see you. I'm Black Fox.
It's a little loud now. Well, okay. Something around there, no?
Okay. Uh-oh, no, you just got a little tinny for me. Maybe that's lag on my side.
The game's probably screeching really loud. Hold on, because for whatever reason,
it might be.
Yeah. Reset time. Hold on. Goodness.
There we go. I'm just gonna get to level 13. You know, just well.
I got to level 4. I told you level 12 because I was level 12 until yesterday when I got to level 14. So
oh shoot! I'm not level. How did I die? Oh no, I must have died. I was level 12, so stuff happened, I guess.
Okay.
Wait, how many times did I die? I was level 12. Yo, that's a lot of experience gone.
How dare you, Bronson?
Dude, I was level 12 when I how many?
Oh.
I swear I was level 12.
What zone are you in?
AVP.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just gonna say that Bronson stole my experience.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'll go with.
He has a tendency.
God damn. I was wondering. I was like, wait. As soon as I looked, okay. Yeah, I'm at the Gadai camp. That's kind of near the really pretty area that has snakes that want to murder you.
Yeah, let's do a port. We'll do a port to AVP. I think that sounds good. Thank you, Glorf. Glowarf. Glowarf.
Every time I log in, the lighting does look better. I like it.
Oaknover, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. That's amazing. Thank you so much. All right, I am here at the
Albatross.
Polygonal Wander Guardian.
Mossy feet.
Thanks, Lorf.
Okay, I can take this.
So you're at the Whisperwind Asp region.
Yes. So if I'm remembering correctly, I am near the cliffs that if you climb up, there may or may not be wyverns. But down way low.
Less to me, as far as the location. I'm at the that if you climb up, there may not be wyverns.
I'm at the brawler camp, between the brawler camp, and then if you go up the hill, that's where the Whisperwind are, and then if you go down the hill, that's where the thicket. Where Kian the Bolt is, where he roams and murders and slaughters and thicket stalkers.
Gotcha.
So thicket stalkers, brawlers, and yeah.
I'm looking for some variation of something Beard Flynn.
You may be disappointed.
Or Flynn's corpse.
Maybe.
I think we've found him.
Maybe.
Flynn's corpse.
Look, okay, so there is a reason for this. Because I did have, like I was saying, I had to change my name because my name was taken. But it's the class fantasy, right? So Rangers are supposed to be like masters of hunting, right? And what's better camouflage than being a corpse? So if everyone thinks I'm a corpse, I can sneak up on everything. Right?
I mean, I'm going to be honest and say I don't necessarily think of corpses as being super like inconspicuous. If I were to walk into a room or
you were standing right next to that mud stout boar. It could have jumped up and murdered you. It's dead right next to you.
Well, yeah, I noticed. And that's what I turned around and saw it, and I was like, you know what? I noticed that. That doesn't seem hidden to me personally, but that's a me thing. You know, that could be a me thing. I think we should let chat decide where we go and what we try to get into. That's what I think, because I have a feeling that for the two of us to try and make something happen, Ranger Cleric, I can only carry so much.
Oh wow, okay. All right, okay.
Oh, I'm just saying that maybe it might be good if, you know, I don't know if we want to pick up a few more adventures along the way, but I think chat could Hangor, and we're not we're level 11 and 14. We're not going to go to Hangor. We would die before we even got anywhere.
I think I would die, yeah. Well, okay, wait, no, you say that, but Joskar and I went to Hangor at level 5. It didn't go very well, but we did do it.
That's true. You did. You did. You didn't actually make it to Hangor.
We made it to the cold.
You did. You did. You made it along the way to Hangor a bit, which was, and I enjoyed it. I actually was. I think I was in game watching you guys do that. That was fun. Let me go. Well, do we want to bind? Well, let's think. What are our options?
I'm currently bound near Halnir at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, they've got it. Oh, don't die.
That's level 17. I just make sure you. Okay.
I know. I'm just tossing a heal on them. Oh, it's mad at me now though, but it's okay. I just didn't want them to die. Oh.
Yeah. Yep. It's okay. We're good. We got this.
Okay.
This is no. I don't mean like let's
okay.
fight. I mean,
when you say we got this, I was like,
no, we can survive this. We can survive. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah, I'm gonna at least bind here at the Dimming Stone so that if we, man, I've been working so much on Summoner, just running around seeing a Summoner. It's I'm
they're
excited.
fine, right? Oh yeah, they're level 20. They're fine. I've had so many people. It's one of the things that game music is tout out. Okay, thank you, Maggie. Appreciate you. One of the things that I've really enjoyed in this has been the near death state. Not that was the near death state, because multiple times I have been saved, or I have managed to save people that were in the near death state while they were running away from things, or like while I was dead, because people just happened upon me in game.
Yeah, it saved me a couple times too. It still needs a little bit of like
tweaking,
polish and tweaking to kind of really get it totally dialed in, but it's proven itself to be, I think, an interesting and worthy mechanic. I don't know. I mean, yeah, let's see if we can get an HC group together at least. We can either do that. We can Aldasi. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like worth doing at this level.
I'm the DPS, so I'm excited to just kind of sit back and relax and chill and soak up experience. So
we've got Mundus.
Oh, Mad Run. I haven't done first. I have not been to Mad Run. The only time I've actually been to Mad Run was actually with before it was, I think, fully released. Joppa, you showed me it a little bit, but I've actually never been to it. But it's a bit high, I think, for us.
It's a bit high.
Yeah,
it's a bit high, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But we definitely, I mean, we should definitely do this again and go to Mad Run, because that would be, I think, a very entertaining experience. Especially if I'm healing. The only time I've been like as an actual player has been on DPS, where I've been able to stream and been minimally, contributive.
Hey, yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I like the idea of playing DPS when streaming, because even though it's a little difficult at times to like actually like pay some attention in group, DPS is a little bit easier than CC, tank, or healer.
What's going on, Draki?
Feel free to make fun of your typing skills. Always, Bronson. Mad Run is legit terrifying. It's scary before you get to it, Essen. It's scary on the outside.
Level 11 to like, I don't know.
Hey, Pixie
15.
Moon.
Any takers? We need a tank. We definitely need a tank.
Be warned, Redbeard, Joppa plays cleric on hard mode with minimal mana most of the time. Joppa has abandoned me multiple times.
Talking about, I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. I would just, yeah. We need a tank, and
funny thing, like I pulled up track, and the first things that showed up on track were all the orphan weavers and shriekers.
Oh yeah.
Mina, hi Mina, how are you doing?
I'm going to choose to not be burned by that burn, Mina. I am impervious. You need a healer too. J-Tall, bring Lizzie
out here. Oh, now I know how I died. I'm remembering why I lost my level. Things are coming back to me. I just got a res, but I'm coming back. I got my level, and then I was trying to get some more experience, and then a series of unfortunate events happened where I died, and then I died several more times trying to get to my corpse, and then I had to stop because I needed to make a YouTube video. So I had to abandon said corpses. Lemony Snicket. Yep. Okay. Wait, am I going the wrong way?
There's a 13 ogre warrior looking for group named Glorfest. I don't know who that is. There's a 12 cleric.
And what did we learn from these death shred? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wait, where am I? Did I get... Oh shit.
Merv. Merv is dead at the stone.
You know what? You know what? Is there a way to sort by player yet? No. Do that.
Hey, Tal, what stone are you talking about?
Oh, I have that thing. Go down this way. And don't die. Oh shit. Wait.
Catalyst, yo, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. That's awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. And thank you for the advice as well.
Let's go this way.
I guess.
Oh shit. Sorry. Shoot.
Don't be no. It doesn't be like that. It doesn't be. It's okay. But again, it's entertaining. It's fun. So you guys should be like, yeah.
Got to keep it family friendly, like I'm on Oren's channel. I think that was the hardest stream I ever did. It was that that group stream, and it was 3 family friendly Pantheon streamers, and I had to be absolutely on my best behavior for like, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours. I can't. That was so hard. Hey Jay, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Flynn, this isn't Pantheon Discord. We're saying that word gets your message deleted by the bot. I'm never on my best behavior. Mr. C, it's good to see you.
Yes. Blue Dekaya. We're gonna have two necros.
There you
That'll
go.
be interesting.
That means you can mez 2 things at once, though.
That's true. That is true. We are definitely not looking for the perfect grouping. We're just gonna go with what we got. So let's do it.
All right.
Let's head on that way. So we got Ranger, 2 Necros, Wizard, Warrior, and Clarice. Last night when Asulame showed up was so great. I missed the back and forth between you two. And I was thinking back on it a little bit because there were a lot of viewers last night and a lot of new ones. And the people that have followed Pantheon for a while, I think they're relatively aware of like the friendship between JN and I and kind of our banter and dry humor and whatever. And but I was thinking about like, I wonder how that came off to people that have no idea. Such a strange interaction that we typically have.
Wait, is everyone with us? Oh yeah.
Watch out for the hidden corpses.
They're very dangerous.
Especially the ones you don't see.
No, it's the ones you can see.
Oh, those are the ones to be careful of?
Yes, because you don't know if they'll get back up. Gotta watch here instead of Reds because no ads. Sorry, Red. Oh, because you... Wait, I don't have ads. I don't run ads, Mana Rohan. Just because you get pre-rolls one time. Excuse me, sir. I don't run ads. Mana Rohan.
Wow, that was like a Family Guy information knockdown. I literally, in a single frame, from full speed sprinting to like on my face.
You pulled two things.
Yeah.
Feel betrayed, Mana Rohan.
Did Merv die?
Clearly did they die or did they zone to Halner already?
No, I see his corpse right here. I mean, unless I tell you what, streaming and healing is something else. You glance away to read chat for a second, you come back, and it's like everyone's dead.
Yeah, that is one of the difficulties for sure. Or is that just an excuse?
Well,
that was fantastic. I watched Glorfest just come in on the screen. They did a kick and then fell over. Just the power of the kick knocked them over.
Someone called me cringe last night. Are you talking about last night or on the YouTube comment that we talked about?
If you haven't been called cringe, have you really lived?
On YouTube, yeah. So we're talking about the YouTube comment, yeah. That YouTube comment, I think it's emblematic, because what's funny is there's something about how I'm wired that I actually enjoy making people feel cringed, having that cringe feeling. So it's not like, it doesn't hit me as something that's like, oh no, what have I done? Or what's wrong with me? Or anything like that. It's like, that's right. That's right. And you will feel all the more cringed any opportunity I can. In fact, a lot of what
Redbeard is one of the most cringe guys I watch. Half this shit is terrible. Half is a low number. It's at least 75%. Like, come on.
Well, there's people that are cringy. They don't mean to be. They're not aware of it. And obviously that's, I think, the truest form of cringe. There are people that kind of embrace like a light cringiness as kind of their shtick, or they kind of ride on the fringes of it and they have an awareness of it. But they just kind of own it. And then there's people that, I guess there's people that aren't cringe. And I think the people that aren't cringe are probably the people that seem the most natural in their skin, like no matter what the situation is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably skip that example because I just will. But
it's probably good not to give examples, honestly.
Yeah. I'm here 98% for the cringe. The other 2% is for Joppa's beard, and we're all out of beard. Well, I'm glad that I can push you into different facets of yourself, Catalyst, to lean on. I get a lot of practice with my kids too, like learning how to be comfortable in kind of the perpetual cringiness that I guess dads have during a certain phase of their life.
Am I not? There's still a skill that I get. Get rid of that. I'm just like
We're gonna get different animations for gathering. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my brain took a second to kind of like. My first thought was crafting. and actual animations that go along with like the different kind of crafting, and was processing what those were. And then I was like, oh yeah, and then gathering, and you actually asked for gathering. But yes, the answer is yes.
I need to start playing this again. Rhodey, I need to start playing it more too. I need to level up a bit more while it has double experience. I know it's going to be wiped by spring, but I'm excited for spring too, when all the changes come in.
So you're saying this stream is what happens when an uncringeable force meets an incringeable object.
I'm waiting for the wipe to happen before I jump back in. I think a lot of people are pixing. And if people haven't played, I've actually been suggesting to wait for the wipe. If they haven't played. If they have, it's up to them. But if they haven't played yet, might as well.
Is this us? Have we started?
Oh shit, I don't know. Actually, shoot, I'm taking it wrong. I think that was someone else's. I was just on automatic. I saw a thing and I just wanted to attack it. It was someone else's.
Waiting for charm before you return? I hear that from time to time. I do. Jobber, were you excited after stream last night with the new people? Yes, that was really fun. That was really fun. It was a little taste. It was a little reminder of what it was like during like the early access launch time, where there were just so many new people trying the game and experiencing it and just having all those feelings. And it was really fun. It was really cool.
We going in? Yep, we are. I still love this. This zone is just so cool. And creepy. Still haven't played Pantheon. Did back it then. Perhaps I should have a look, wipe or not. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I have put probably 200, 300 hours in this game. I've enjoyed the hell out of it myself. So I have a 100-hour review on this game on YouTube. I personally like this game. There are a lot of changes coming to the game that I personally think are going to kind of set it apart and make it a bit more accessible in, I think, a good way, that I'm hoping for and excited about. What is this thing? Wait, have I ever seen this before? Wait, should I touch it?
Oh, that's cool, Duo.
Should I touch this thing? Oh, is this the portal stone thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay. I haven't been in here except for like very briefly since these came in.
You have to actually reach and unlock or kind of like activate the other one so that you'll have a place to go. Until you've done that, you won't be able to use it.
Nice. Are we on the Kabbalist?
I don't want to come across a hater when asking questions, but why does everything glide in this game? Can you be more specific what you mean by that?
We're on the Stalker. Wait.
I went ahead and decided to face tank the Stalker and die, just to kind of get loose, you know?
Oh. Well, the good news is almost all of us are dead. But one of them is okay, no, we're all dead. Okay, Tad more. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Maggie.
Does our group need a healer? No. No, it doesn't.
It's the 2 necros, too much death. Yes, it does. It needs a healer, so Joppa can DPS. Damn. They go after you hard, Joppa.
Well, it comes with the territory, you know? I mean, I get it. I get it. But just, you know, I got to get locked in.
Kind of feels like a more modern EverQuest 2. If you take out the quests, because this is it.
I resent that statement. How dare you? I'm just playing.
Because EverQuest 2 is kind of became a very much a quest hub MMO. That became EverQuest 2 does still have a lot of grind, like mob grinding, but so much of it, like if you think of the Common Lands, for example, the center of the Common Lands is just a quest hub. You just go get a bunch of quests there, and then you go out and you do a bunch of quests. I think a lot of EverQuest 2, especially after the success of World of Warcraft, they started throwing in more and more and more quests. It became more of a quest hub MMO as it progressed, where gradually quests became more of the way that it went. But damn, yeah, EverQuest 2 had incredible, like, tertiary systems, housing, incredible stuff, crafting.
I don't know. All I know is I played EQ like crazy. Mm-hmm. WoW and EQ2 came out in basically the same blink of an eye. I played EQ2. I even preferred EQ2 in anticipation because of the EQ1. And I didn't last like a week. Like it was so different from like it just never felt. I never like got hooked on it. Whereas WoW, like very different from EQ, but it was for what it was. It grabbed me and was an awesome experience. There was something about EQ2 that just felt like. I think it was a combination of the character models that I really struggled with. And it was just, it felt very like, what's the word? Like heavy? Like, I don't say clunky, but it was like the animations, the pacing.
Yeah. So EverQuest 2, like the part of the story behind EverQuest 2 and why it struggled was the different, like how technology shifted in a way that they didn't expect, how processors went to multi-core when they didn't think they were going to go multi-core. So it still doesn't run the way it's supposed to run. So I think that's part of why WoW came out and it runs so much smoother. The latency is so much better. EQ2 when it first came out was very sluggish. It runs pretty well now. And it's still holds up pretty decently well, I think. I mean, it's the animations are some of the animations are still some, like the monk animations are some of the better animations in games, I think. But they were really ambitious, and I don't know why they felt the need to make a sequel at that time. When EverQuest was still doing well, I think EverQuest was still pulling in like 300, 400,000 players at that time. It was still the #1 MMO at that time. It was kind of an interesting move by SOE to put all of everything into a sequel. Just a couple years after launching their first MMO.
Somebody said it and reminded me of what, like, who was it? Catalyst. EQ2 lost me at linked mobs and locked combat. Mm-hmm. And add to that, what was it called? Like heroic opportunities or whatever? The thing that would like light up?
Yeah, you couldn't. That was a half-baked system that they didn't do anything with. Which I've actually compared the technique system to heroic opportunities. Because it does in some ways work in a similar fashion, But heroic opportunities in EverQuest 2 didn't actually do anything. So, like, it was like they had this idea for a system, and then they were like, okay, put it in, and then they forgot the system existed. So like it just didn't do, like, it had no impact, so it became no point in doing it, and it actually was just like kind of a waste. Like, it might have mattered a little bit in the very, like, you know, level 10, but then it quickly stopped mattering. You know.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
But it was, the whole idea was synergy, but yeah.
Once we do the with the spring update and some of the tweaks and refinements we're making there, I think it's going to be a lot clearer what we're going for with the techniques. I think they're going to feel a lot more meaningful too with the way that they're acquired. Yeah, just I'm remembering that now. Linked mobs, especially in locked combat, those were the things that just felt so jarringly different. And granted, some of those things existed in WoW, but because it was WoW, because it was like a different game, I don't know that it bothered me as much as it did with EQ2, because I was just expecting something so just similar, you know, to EQ2, similar but better.
Coming into it being able to split in EverQuest, and then finding out you can't split the same way in EverQuest 2 because things were linked together, was it's kind of frustrating. And then also having classes that just didn't work the same way, like having the Bruiser and Monk being supposedly off tanks more than DPS, was a very interesting way of going about things.
What's your take on the differences between Monsters and Memories and Pantheon? I'm looking to play a new MMO, started EQ back in Kunark, WoW at launch, Shadowbane, and recently Ash of Creation. How can I answer that in a way that is like I'll try not to be biased. Like I'll try to give like the fairest take that I can. Because I'm trying to think in terms of like what ultimately Pantheon is going to become, like what it's headed towards. You know, there's a difference between kind of a 1.0 Pantheon and what it is right now, and of course there is for M&M as well in any game. And I haven't played M&M yet, and that's another thing that's why I'm always hesitant to talk about it too much, because I don't want to I don't want to talk about it too much until I've played it and I can speak from experience.
If you've played what was Evercraft Online is now Agilon Online, those two games play more similarly. Similarly, if that helps.
I think if you are looking for a game that feels closer to classic EverQuest in its pacing and its kind of general feel, and I want to be careful because I don't want to contribute to this idea that M&M's just a EQ clone, because it's not an EQ clone, but it cuts a lot closer than Pantheon does to more of like a true EverQuest experience in its pacing and its I think in some ways like its actions per minute. It's also, I think, and I'm saying this just because it's what I hear consistently, that it's a little bit more hardcore. Like it's a little bit more intense in some of its systems in terms of what it asks of the player. And Pantheon is. We've intentionally kind of tried to, and I guess I'll speak more towards like what Pantheon is. Like we're trying to really capture that fusion of like that EQ trilogy period with WoW Classic, and a lot of what WoW Classic introduced into the MMO experience, with like some combat depth, a little bit more kind of complex and layered combat systems, but also in like the feel of the game. Like when you boot EverQuest up, if you go and play like classic EverQuest right now, especially if it's been a long time since you've done it, it's kind of, your nostalgia is immediately replaced with, at least for a little while, it's replaced with this like remembrance of kind of some of the clunkiness of the way the camera worked, some of the stiffness in the movement, and some other things. Whereas Pantheon, like one of the things WoW did is it introduced just kind of a more polished character controller, more polished camera movement. It became the foundation of what we think of as more of a modern MMO feel, in terms of smoothness, polish, responsiveness, things like that. And we've really tried to embrace that, because what we're trying to do with Pantheon is bridge that gap for like people who did or who may or would love like the classic MMO DNA, but can't get into it because they're often such kind of stodgy, cumbersome experiences. And so if we can build a game that's more modern in its feel, but has that classic MMO DNA, that's what we're trying to capture. A very PvE focused, very socially rich, open world, non-linear, things like we have a death penalty. We want travel to be meaningful. We want grouping to feel centric, but still have opportunities for solo players and whatnot to enjoy the game. So that's what we're going for with Pantheon. All right, I'm ready. I'm locked in. I've been locked in the whole time. I've already completely healed our group successfully in my mind based on several different.
You were locked in. We just recovered. It's a corpse run that we just did.
Mm-hmm.
That's locked in.
Yeah, I'm saying in my mind.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You know how people like master chess players will kind of like play the whole game of chess through multiple times before they move their first piece? That's more what I'm talking about.
Okay, we're on the stalker. Yes. Still feel like die. Oh shit. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a ranged ranger right now. I feel like that's the safer. While Joff is locked in.
I am locked in, and I am having to heal a lot of people in this group. There's a lot of bouncing.
Have you visualized what it might look like to use a heal? Well, there's that Ravage. I'll even help heal. Oh, there's a stalker that we just got to. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, like when I'm locked in, I'm locked in.
Ranger is backup healing for the cleric with my amazing like 8-point heal. Although I do like the change to the Ranger heal that made it a heal over time, because it made it feel much better. And I think that's one of the things, if Pantheon can actually make Rangers feel good, because the last Ranger that I enjoyed playing was Vanguard. Like that I really enjoyed playing. And so to see the Ranger in Pantheon do well would be really nice.
I like Rick's comment. Have you visualized what it might look like to use a heal? Thank you, Grix.
Vanguard is my favorite MMO of all time. I love that game dearly. I really enjoyed Vanguard. It had some roughness, but I enjoyed it. Vanguard had awesome class. It had awesome class. It had awesome class race matrix too. I like the idea of off classes, like off tanks and off healers. Ranger was always one of those classes. Especially early on in EverQuest. Classic EverQuest.
Ranger was one of those classes, what?
Off tank.
Oh. Shoulders. What do I... Oh, I'm going to take these shoulders. There's no stats on them. But there is AC, and they don't look like cloth. Yes, they do. They look like... Oh, no, they look like rawhide. That's cool.
I really like climbing in Pantheon. That is the greatest strength in my opinion. I prefer the world in Monsters and Memories, though. I like climbing because it adds verticality as an exploration point. I just need more reasons to climb. Like I remember Joskar and I were going to find, I think it was when we were going to try and find Hangor, when we were trying to find Halnir, and we didn't know where it was, and we just found a cave, and we found it like way high up, but then there was nothing in the cave. Like we climbed up and we were really excited about it, and then there was nothing there. But if there's stuff there, or if there's stuff like really high up, like on different places to go and find, then there's more reason to go and climb. I think the climbing will become more fun, more exciting.
It definitely will.
I like being able to jump and catch on walls too. That's fun. Red always needs more reason to test fall damage. Exactly.
Along those lines, have you seen Super Bits and Bob's video about Pantheon and how it's limited by removing options like how you cannot be creative with OP solo duos to do group content? So, I don't know for sure if I've seen his video, the one that you're referencing in particular. I know that, like, that's one of those interesting questions and interesting things to talk about, because Super Bits and Bob's, I remember for whatever reason, the first time I saw like the first video of his that I watched, it was this really cozy, like, ooh, okay, I will take these, thank you. Video about EQ. He has super cozy videos. Like I like his video style. And then I did see one about Pantheon, and it was not kind to the game, and it was this like moment where I was like, I want to like this video because I like your videos, and it's all it's so much shade. But I mean, I get where he's coming from, and one of the reasons I'm so excited about the update in the spring is exactly what you're describing and what he was describing, which, yeah, like that hard line has made it to where a lot of the areas that exist in our game world feel off limits, or kind of in this weird kind of sectioned off, or kind of like, you know, gated community state where you don't feel the freedom to really explore and engage with the world as fully as you did in EQ, which is a problem. And that's a very big feel issue. And so I think a lot of Pantheon's world and the way people feel about the world of Pantheon, not only as it continues to expand, but just as it opens up more in terms of accessibility through the spring update, I think the world is going to be a lot more. I think people are going to enjoy the world of Pantheon much more than they do right now because of that. That's my expectation. Yo, Ridimac, thank you so much for the Prime.
Hey, Babylonia, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how it works out. I know I'm expecting it to be when it drops, kind of an adjustment, I think is probably the best way to expect it, because it's going to be kind of probably like the biggest change since at least early access dropped. But I'm trying to remember when was elite, when were elites added, because have elites always been, because when I started testing, I don't feel like they were there when I started. I mean, I've been testing Pantheon for a while now. Before it was the NDA had dropped, but I don't remember how far back that was. I know I've gone through a couple different iterations of like things like the death penalty and stuff like that, but I don't remember when the elites came in.
Whew. Oh man. I mean, it's got to be, I don't remember the exact date, but it's got to be like 3 or 4 years now.
Okay. Probably right after, it's probably changed like right after I started then. Hey Mujin, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Also, now I actually am level 12. Finally. Glorfest says Leeds came in shortly before EA.
No. Glorf.
During seasons?
Need to probably look that up and see. They arrived precisely when they meant to. Well, I want to see if I can actually.
Pre-alpha had 247 access, but it was after the escape from Terminus experiment went away. That was after I didn't play before that. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Mujin. Been watching Joppa streams because of you, Flynn. Thanks for showing me Pantheon and helping me find a good MMO to look forward to. I'm so glad to hear that, Cindy. That's awesome.
So first shown publicly in October 2023 development stream.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago instead of 3 or 4.
Okay. Then yeah.
Pre-alpha session 6, which was late 2023. And by early 2024, it became a standardized part of the NPC design.
Okay.
So it's been like 2.5 years, I guess, ish.
Long enough.
Oh, cool. They were used during 247, so that would include that 247 time period, for sure. Just wanted to say thank you for always being so transparent and informative. You have a lot of patience. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just whenever anyone has said, which I appreciate that, by the way, and anytime anyone has said that, I always feel like I should go back to like my teaching time period where I used to teach high school, and you kind of learn quickly, like if you're gonna do anything successful in a classroom with high schoolers, like you're gonna either be able to kind of relate to and respect where someone else is coming from, no matter how immature or frustrating, whatever you might think that they are, or you're really going to struggle. And so I think it was a lot of that, and it was also then through that process understanding that people really aren't all that different. Like there's definitely a lot of like unique things from person to person, but at the end of the day, like we all tend to have the same kinds of feelings, we all tend to respond to the same kinds of things, and it goes a long way to just kind of like seeing to like the heart of people a little bit, and not only just getting caught up in like, well, this person's trying to like hurt my feelings, or make me feel bad, or attack my confidence or my credibility or whatever it is. It's like it's always deeper than that. And there's a lot of truth in criticism too, or there can be. So anyway, it's I don't know that it so much patience as much as just kind of like empathetic interest in where people are coming from anytime they're critical of something.
It's funny, you talked about teaching. I did student teaching. I lasted 3 months and then I left, and it was the best decision I ever made to just run away from that because I could not handle it. Had nothing to do with the students, had everything to do with the other teachers. That was
oh really?
Could not. They acted worse than the student. It was high school, 11th grade history, and the teachers were a nightmare. They were the cattiest, worst, awful people that you could ever imagine. I was like, oh my god. But the students were great. I like the students. It was weird seeing them outside of class though.
I know, right?
Yeah, there was really weird. Like, yeah. There's a quick question that I don't know if this has been answered before. I think it has been answered, and I think it's pretty easy one. Is answer if there's any plans for controller support for Pantheon.
Oh, I'm gonna say maybe. Maybe. Like, no definite plans now, because we don't really have. We haven't started working on that, and we haven't like fully decided to do it. But we've had several conversations, and there's a couple of examples out there that are actually really cool, of pretty complex MMOs being mappable to controllers and doing that successfully. People playing Pantheon on a Steam Deck as well. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think there was when it first went to early access, there were some people that had mapped it onto Steam Deck, right? I want to say there was a couple of people that had found ways to get the game playing on Steam Deck and then mapped it to Steam Deck. But obviously that's not like official support. That's unofficial support.
Right. Yeah. But it's definitely, I do think it's doable. And that obviously that's not, I don't want anyone to interpret that as like a goal for like a console type experience, but I think controller support is very doable when the time comes. It's definitely something we'll look into.
I know I have a couple of friends that will only play PC games with controller, so I know that is a very important question to them. They do not like mouse and keyboard on PC.
Getting older, like
Yep.
And I don't like controllers. Like I struggle with controllers. But it's like, how long before it starts becoming more of a necessity, just physically, like, and even just, as long as that option can be there without, taking away from anything else, I don't see an issue with that. People, the concern is that it would simplify or dumb the game's controls down to make it compatible with the controller, but I don't think that's necessary.
Accessibility reasons as well. The controllers are very helpful for accessibility.
Mm-hmm. Joppa recently looked into Pantheon after watching an M&M video. Been hooked now for a couple weeks. Keep it up. Can't wait until spring. Nice, rockin'. That's awesome. That's really cool. We talk about that a lot on the stream because it's kind of a lot, and it's like, it's always that reminder that different games resonate with different people, and that's okay. It's okay. And sometimes different games resonate with the same people. Sometimes people really enjoy, multiple games that are similar but still different, and it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out, for sure. But I'm really glad to hear that you're liking it. And yeah, it's gonna get a whole heck of a lot better come spring. I'm excited. Oh, hey, that's cheating. Glorf. That's cheating. I saw that druid heal come in clutch right before mine landed. Now let's not
no
talk
skill
about
with the controller, Silvermink.
I haven't noticed, and it saved you. We won't talk about that.
I have no skill with any peripherals, Silvermink, so it's okay. Don't you worry.
When can you control your character through a Neuralink? I mean, it's pretty much like Domino's, right? As soon as you get controller support in, it's kind of like, go ahead and get the Neuralink fired up.
It just reminds me, there's this streamer, I forget her name. She plays like Skyrim with like full on set that has like, it's set up to like heat up or like have like tactile things for like, so when like she gets hit with a fireball, it heats up and stuff like that. And it just sounds so horrible to go through that whole process. And it's like she plays it in VR. And so like anytime she gets damaged, she's getting hurt, and it just Neuralink and oh my god. Like it has a full on like vest and everything. So she gets hit with a fireball like on her right hand side. So she has like things in the vest that heat up on the right hand side when she gets hit. Obviously not the same, like it doesn't get on fire. But...
Oh yeah, she doesn't burst into flames.
No.
It just heats up. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess anything for content, but you know, a haptic vest. Yes, that's what I was talking about. But also like haptic vest. Thank you, Catalyst.
I burned alive playing Elder Scrolls Online. Like and subscribe. Check it out.
We're not far away from that. Can we learn more about masteries that are coming soon? I think you talked about that in one of the streams, right? That learning more about some of the other ones, because I think the only example so far was the warrior, right? Of how things were going with masteries.
That's definitely the one that we've done the most kind of dialogue about. We've briefly touched on things like, you know, paladin, healer, and the concept of like a smite cleric, but we haven't. Yeah, I mean, warrior's been kind of our standing go-to example until we're ready to get a little deeper.
I've got a video. I've got a video on that coming up. FYI, my thoughts on it. Actually, I had to bump it because there's another MMO that had a little bit of drama that was annoying, but you know.
I watched your second video on that today, and I don't want to say it was funny because it wasn't it wasn't funny, but it was kind of funny because it just, anytime you see someone that's so regularly just kind of good natured and laid back and whatnot, when you see them like genuinely furious, it was very interesting. So yeah.
There's times when like I'm like should I post this? I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I think both those videos, I felt like after that I'm like whatever. But it's just I won't get into it. But you know, stuff happens, and I don't cover drama for good reason. But I'm just glad that I appreciate that other games I cover are not the way that other games are. And that I talk to people that are not that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
AP! My first mod is here. Hello, AP. How are you doing? Wonderful to see you. Very first mod. She was a mod for my very first streams 4.5 years ago. She's been here with me from the very beginning.
That's cool.
Yeah. She is the long-suffering one. She really is. She has put up with me for that long.
What was it? There was a
Sword Art Online, I think, is what you're talking about, Muujin. I think, right? I think.
By the way, Ridamok, I can't remember if I thanked you for the Prime sub. If I didn't, thank you, and if I did, thank you. Burrito, do you know if player nameplates will get touched up? They get lost during combat with my blind eyes. Burrito, you.
Capitalist CC. Okay. Oh, we got 3. Nope. Okay. I think it's not going great. Do I go down with the ship? Or do I run away? Everybody's dead. Should I run? I guess I can run. Yeah. I'll abandon ship.
Chad, I do answer questions on YouTube. Hold on, let me find your question. Hoping it's a bug.
Just.
Is it on purpose that folks can be rezzed or dragged unless they are in the same zone? Seems purposely unfun. It's on purpose that folks can't be rezzed or dragged.
Oh, is it
unless
train? Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is not the way it needs to be. That will be addressed. Yeah.
That was brutal.
What I was going to say, I think this is the third time I've tried to like formulate a thought on this question, which is a great question, and it's timely because this is a perfect case in point. The nameplate issue is part of a larger clarity issue, where the combination of the way that our UI is, and the way that information is displayed, and the way nameplates are displayed, and the lack of options to tweak those things, all of it works together to create, yes, it's not just your old eyes. It is all of our eyes are crit and like ultra critted and giga critted when we play, because there's so much information and it's very difficult sometimes to see very basic, simple things. So we have a plan that is a very detailed and kind of varied plan to address several different parts of the UI to improve clarity and just cut down on the overall noise and give you guys more control over what you see and what you don't see. And that's going to make a huge, huge difference. I'm going to take this opportunity to do a quick bio break. I'll be right back. There's a couple of other things that I saw that I want to respond to as well when I get back. So I'll do that in just a sec. But this is a good time while I'm laying low here on the ground in Howler Cave. Can you imagine like how nasty this ground is, by the way? Have you thought about that?
It's probably like, yeah, full of a lot of blood.
Like, oh my goodness, can you imagine? just being dead. Just being dead on this floor, or being in near death and literally dragging and scooting yourself across this floor.
When he said scooting,
I mean, like sliding, like
I know. But
slithering.
when you say scooting, all I can think of is like a dog, like scooting across the floor, and that just made it worse. That made it so much worse. Because now I'm thinking of all the drawn ratkins scooting across the floor, and that, yeah. Okay, yeah. So there was a Dougboy had a cool question. What Necromancer masteries do you want? And I think if they go the route that they're going, which I don't know that it's the best idea, the route that they're going, but if they go the route that they're going, and going like these kind of like this binary route of two different routes, right? For Necromancer, I would want a dot DPS route. And if they're sticking with the CC route, then a CC route. So stick with like a full-on DPS route that fully utilizes their potential as a damage over time class, because you currently don't really have a damage over time class. And then the other route is fully utilizing them as a CC class, and actually like pumps up their CC and their support, and actually makes their support as more of a like debilitating and buffing support. So they already have skills right now that take things from the enemy, but they only work for the Necromancer, at least like at lower levels. So making those more prevalent, so making them better buffs that work for the group, like actually like a support buff, and making more of them. So like you have a slow for the Necromancer. Maybe that slow isn't just a slow anymore. Maybe that slow works also as a haste. So you slow the enemy, but also you haste the group. So you're full on support class that way, and also CC. I don't know. That's kind of where I would go. So Joppa said necro support tree would be control healing. Healing. The only healing I've done as a Necromancer killed myself. We were doing hobgoblins, and I wasn't paying attention because I went down, and I immediately got back up, and I saw someone was dying, so I used my heal. And if you're unfamiliar with the Necromancer's heal sacrifices your own life to heal someone else. And so all I saw was that someone in my group was about to die, and it was our tank. And there's a freaking clip of it. So I healed them, like the good support class that I was. And so I died immediately, which is awesome. But yeah, that'd be interesting. A support healer CC.
A mess.
We're talking about the Necromancer trees, mastery trees.
The necromantic trees, like
what
out in the field?
Yeah, if they were going, if you had the two branches. What I was at, like Doug Bug asked what I would want, so I was giving my answer.
Got it.
I remember that. And I was retelling a story of how I killed myself by healing somebody with my Necromancer in this game. They lived for like 3 more seconds and then they died, but they still lived for 3 more seconds. I did my duty.
Well, I mean, you know what they say.
What do they say? I'm not going to let you get away with it. Like, just leave it out there.
I don't know what they say. I'm sure somebody has said something about it at some point, but that's what I'm banking on anyway.
The EverQuest Necro has no danger now. Lich is just a mana buff. A very good mana buff, but it's just a mana buff. It became a mana buff pretty... When did it become a mana buff? When did you get enough...
What's mana, by the way?
Mana. Wait, okay,
Sorry,
wait. I think we've talked about this before. How do you say the EverQuest expansion that has cats and a moon?
Well, if I'm going to be true to myself and not what I think people want to hear, I called it Lukelin. Back when I was, yes, Lukelin. Now, I have since learned, and what I mean when I say learned has been absolutely inundated with furious, raging rapids of insistence that it's pronounced Lucklin.
That's how I pronounce it.
But I called it Lukelin.
I have been told for 4 years on YouTube that it's Looselin. So, yeah. So, I mean, I called it Luckland, but we didn't have. I mean, you're talking about what 2001, so we didn't have.
I wasn't sitting in the car with Brad, where he's able to say, actually, it's Luckland.
Yeah.
I didn't have that luxury back in 2000 whatever. But I'm just glad I haven't heard anyone pronounce the latter half of the word differently, like Luckleen or
Luckline.
Luckline or Luke Line or Luke Lean. But I know there are people out there that are like that, because I always use the Fellwithe or Fellwith example with the Fellweethy is one that probably the one that hit me the most, like the hardest, like kind of knocked me back a little bit when I heard it. Like I cannot even fathom like where that, to know that there were people out there living playing the game on Ventrilo or TeamSpeak saying, "Hey, I'll meet you in Fellweethy."
Fellweethy.
Like I don't even know what I would have done had I heard that.
Fellweethy.
How I would have processed it. Yes, I'm ready, Glorf. I'm always ready. There is an abiding readiness.
How many are we? Is that? The Necropet is very ready. We got two. We got two.
Just gotta think.
The pronunciation is how the reader pronounces it, not the writer in all fiction. You're not wrong. I have said that about my own books. The way people have chosen to pronounce stuff I've written, sure, fine, whatever, I don't care. However they want to say it, that's up to them.
Fellweath. Fellweath is almost just as funny as Fellweethy. I think Fellweath is pretty funny, but I see it.
Fellweeties. Eat your
Fellweeties.
Fellweeties seems like it'd be a really pretentious cereal. Like it wouldn't have any sugar. They'd leave that for Kelethan. Kelethetes.
Kelethetes?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to. Like I missed something. Something is.
You did say before you left that you had several questions that you were going to answer, or several comments that you were going to respond to, or something.
First of all, Malkin, I'll hear you. Let's go ahead and get that out there. Where was it? Oh, Mina, what are you when you said that whole mess? What were you referring to? That's one question I had. How much in donations to have Joppa grow his beard out and dye it red for the next stream? That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Do it for charity.
Joppa, can you tell us about the new summer zones in a few sentences of each? Well, there's some degree of proximity of water, and I'll let that land on you for a little while because that's obviously a big reveal. Definitely not anything anyone already knew. Let's see, what can I safely talk about? Man, I mean, there's so many cool things that I could talk about. There's so many. What can I talk about?
All of them. We won't tell anyone. Right? Like none of us will tell anyone. you could just tell us all about it.
How do you pronounce South Sail? It's kind of like you could say South Sail, like SAIL, and it would get by. There is a slight sail that is intended, but not necessary. South Sail, they sound almost identical.
Elf necro fruit. That'd be cool.
Let's see. Felweethy.
Felweethy.
Looseland.
I agree with Bromer.
Or what? Are gnomes? Oh, the Ether. I totally forgot about the ethereals. Are gnomes like the ethereals from WoW? Kind of. Yeah, we actually used the ethereals as a one of our visual kind of inspirations early on for the gnomes of a way that could look. Yeah. Oh, and Necrospecs was being discussed. That's right. That's what you were talking about when I got back. Yeah.
Yeah, the ideas of the Necrospecs and what they could be.
Mastery Dev Diaries about specific classes starting soon, so we can stop being upset theoretically and be upset with something a little more concrete. Oh my. The mastery, the discussion's definitely been interesting because, it's funny to me. That sounds like kind of let me rephrase that, because that can sound a little jerky, and that's not what I mean. Seville Manor, that's how you pronounce it, Seville. But I haven't read it or gone over it. I did show it on stream once. But we actually did. I need to see if I can find it, actually. Because if I can find it, I might even see if I can repost it, or we could listen to it on stream or something. But we did back in the day. I mean, this was probably back in 2015, maybe 2016. Back when we were curating our SoundCloud. We had an actual Pantheon SoundCloud, and I was uploading music to that, and we were doing some podcasts and some different things sporadically. We did a whole podcast on basically mastery as a dual spec system. And back then it was built on the premise of colored mana, and using colored mana to basically determine which kind of cleric you would be. A devout cleric was tied to gold mana, and a resolute cleric was tied to gray mana or silver mana. And the devout cleric was kind of meant to be what our current cleric is like, whereas the resolute cleric was meant to be more of a melee type cleric, battle cleric. And it was this whole system designed around colored mana to essentially kind of get to where we're going with mastery as it is. And so obviously that's been deep in my mind for years because of all the work that I had put into it back then to kind of design it out and build it. We didn't end up going with it back then. And the reason we didn't go with it back then is more related to the colored mana part of it being problematic, more so than the idea of these different expressions. I mean, I still remember vividly back then, like people asking about, like, can we get a dual wield shield, like a warrior that can dual wield shields as one of its like mastery paths. And so it's been interesting seeing a lot of the conversation around, like, this is coming out of nowhere, and like this is just all this stuff. And yes, I do understand, like, it feels like it's coming out of nowhere in terms of, like, we just kind of said something about it. So that I do understand.
So to play the devil's advocate here, please. I think one of the big things that I think, coming from my point of view, when the game is billed as having class identity, if you set it up in a way where someone sends a tell saying cleric looking for group, and then I have to ask what kind of cleric, then it no longer has class identity. It has build identity. And so when you do that, there's still, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that's bad. It just means that the idea of class identity is now being split. And so that does change one of those very key things to how the game was being made, with the idea of class identity. And so when the role, like, so basically it's role is the identity, not so much the class. So DPS identity, healer identity, CC identity, instead of cleric, tank, or cleric, warrior, that kind of thing. Since a warrior could be DPS or a tank, warrior could be, or a cleric could be DPS or a healer, because it adds that question of what kind of thing. At least that's my thought.
Processing that for a sec. Because I think part of it is, I think that part of it feels like a bit of a gotcha, which is like, if you have, so in a sense, like class identity, let's get we're gonna like break this down and get like real theoretical and real kind of like surgical with this, and then we'll piece it back together in a more normal human way, more like we all think about it. But just to get real semantic and real like detailed here, class, so what you're saying, and what it sounds like people are saying, is that class identity is still married to role. Because when I say, hey, I'm looking for a tank, so I know I'm going to look for a warrior, a paladin, or a dire lord, I'm understanding the identity of that class according to its role. And if you're only thinking of class identity like that, then okay. You're splitting the role now to where it's like, okay, I can't just assign one role to this class. Now this class is capable of two roles, then I'm not on the surface clear which role that is. But you're still thinking in terms of role. It's still a role identity based thing. When you move into more of the like fantasy of the class, and you think of class identity in terms of like, what is this class actually in Pantheon? How does it exist in this world? And that can be in multiple different expressions. That is where I don't think that any class identity is lost. Where you start losing class identity, in my opinion, is in like overlaps of that expression, overlaps of that flavor, where you start to actually lose the actual difference between a shaman and a cleric, or between a dire lord and a warrior, or a summoner and a hard, like where there's such
yeah
overlap, the identity actually starts to go away. I think we're all thinking in terms of role.
Yeah.
It's that issue of splitting the role out.
So yeah, I get what you're saying about, so like the way that the class does the thing as being part of the strict identity, right? So the way that a shaman will heal and the way that a cleric will heal is defining of that class identity as well, right? Is that, am I picking that up correctly?
That plus the secondary and auxiliary things that they bring to the table that make them unique.
Yeah. I think it's a combination of all those things.
Most like pertinent pushback or like kind of like criticism towards the loss of class identity, to give you examples of where I felt like we genuinely did cut away at class identity, is when we did things like giving every healer an equivalent res. That actually cuts away at class identity, in my opinion, because you're taking something that could be unique and specific to one class or most powerful for one class, like a cleric's res, and especially how it was in EQ. And now you're taking that and you're creating equal kind of parity versions of that and giving it to each of the healers. And now it doesn't matter if you have a shaman, a cleric, or a druid. That class doesn't matter anymore. That identity doesn't matter because it's shared. That's where I feel like class identity is lost. When you have a paladin, let's say a paladin healer, that brings with them, I mean, all healers heal, so that's not really an issue in my opinion regarding class identity. But yes, the method of healing is important, but it's also what are the things that continue to make those classes unique. That's the part for me that if we lose that and we start getting into literally like kind of folding the classes on top of each other, there's no real difference between like a cleric healer and a paladin healer are bringing nothing different or unique to the table. Then I think we start running into class identity issues. I think, in other words, over time, once this goes to PTR, once this goes live, once players have had time, and what a warlord warrior is becomes more clear and known, I don't think there's going to be a class identity crisis. I think a warrior will still have a very specific footprint in the world, and a warrior doing DPS, the way a warrior does the DPS and what other things they bring with their particular shouts, with their particular banners, formations they have access to, and other, various things, some of their mobility, like, I think that's going to allow DPS warriors to do things very differently than a DPS rogue, in ways that you are still going to watch a DPS warrior in action and say, that's a DPS, that's a warlord warrior. Like, I see that, it's clear, it's distinct. And that's why I say, like, we're kind of arguing right now on a very, this isn't the way, like, we typically think. But I do think it matters. I think it matters very much.
I think, like for me, my biggest concern is going to be around balance, mostly because when you expand out to mastery, you're getting closer to more and more classes in a way. So if you think about balancing DPS classes, like how many DPS classes you have to balance to make those all, like each DPS class not only viable but attractive in multiple situations, and wanting them all to feel good. But that's just a concern I'd have in every game, not a Pantheon concern. That's just an MMO concern. Same with tanks, same with healers. EverQuest in a lot of ways struggle with that, with healers, druids struggling to be viable as healers, rangers struggling to be viable as DPS. When playing through EverQuest on progression servers, you see with DPS how they swing from which one is the top DPS expansion, just with balancing issues. But that's just the more you add, the more concerns I get with being able to make everyone feel like they have a place in the hierarchy kind of thing.
that's where we're gonna fall back to on, like, I mean, classic EQ did not have surgical balance.
Yeah.
By any means. And you didn't really see a lot of calls for that and expectations for that until WoW. And you didn't, and a lot of the reason you saw that is because of the outcries for PvP balance. And then you saw it even more as WoW ramped up into like Heroic Dungeons, Mythic Plus, and things like that, where you got to a level of difficulty that was so intense that you really did need that kind of like surgical parity. It's one of the reasons why Final Fantasy XIV has gone as far as they've gone, also in that like literal exact balance, to completely eliminate what we, on the contrary, kind of embrace, which is like that if we pull things off the way we're trying to and the way that we're headed, then you are not going to see this particular class topping DPS charts every single encounter, every single type of content, because there are going to be so many other parameters that can affect that. And so it's really about what are the fortes of the class, where do they shine, where do they struggle, and being more of a classically spirited game, like the idea is the sum is really the sum is greater than the parts, in the sense that like ultimately what you're trying to achieve doesn't come down to whether the DPS warrior is within 2% of the rogue doing DPS. It's more about like, do you have the right people? Do they have the right game knowledge? And then in that sense, it's coming down to what do you enjoy being in the world? Like, and that's where, to me, the fantasy of it matters so much. And that's why I don't like thinking of it derivatively, that it just comes down to just roll. I'm thinking of it in terms of, if I'm a warrior and this is all that a warrior is in our game, like they're battlefield commanders, they're strategists, they are, tanks and leaders, but they're also weapon masters. They are like, they are highly trained in all forms of weaponry. They're savage on the battlefield when they need to be, to push back, against the loss, to press forward. And so there's this very natural kind of room for that kind of expression. And I think that lore and that fantasy matters a lot. So I just, that's ultimately, and back with the whole mastery paths in the past, like that's a lot of what I was trying to lead into there as well, is, what is the ultimate expression in the full kind of range of this class as players see it, and then what kind of power fantasies do we want to make available to them? Because conversely, you look at something like EQ and like you look at the warrior, and it's like, if the only thing we're valuing here is that the warrior was only ever a warrior and that's all the warrior could ever be, I'm trying to like, and again, this goes back to wanting to really understand the criticisms and the concerns and whatnot, but I'm trying to get my head around like, what is at stake there, really? How much of it is a concern that's like untethered, and how much of it, and what's really at stake? Yeah.
It's a good question. Like, I mean, the thing is, I can see both sides of it, in part because honestly I want a DPS tree for my Necromancer, right? So there's a part of me that really wants that option, and I want the ability to have that class fantasy of what I want to play. I want the options. I personally love the talent trees in WoW, and I loved the kind of when they added more ability to customize a little bit more with AAs. And I really liked the first iterations of some of the stuff we got with Mastery in Pantheon too, when it was actually in. I liked having when it was in, I was playing a Dire Lord. So the first things that I got with Mastery were just basically enhancing the skills I had and making them stronger. And I liked that too. But I understand that in that, all you're basically doing is you're not really making any choices that much, except like, okay, I have this point right now, and I'm not going to get this point until later. And do I just what am I prioritizing right now? Do I make this point now, or do I make it later? So I totally get that as well. that this is a way of making mastery feel more like you have more options. But I also want to see, and I think a lot of people want to see what the trees look like. Like, what are the paths? What are we going to actually see with each class instead of just the warrior? You know?
Yeah, I understand that. And it's also
especially with the change from 3 to 2, because I'm really curious to see what within 1. So like the warlord, is it just a straight path, or is there a branch within the warlord? You know, like, or do you make choices? Do you make choices when you go down that one way, or are you just going, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the mastery path?
Oh yeah, no, there's really a lot of choices being made. Let me hold on. Just want to put this up again real quick for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
I gotta pull up your stream because I want to see. I haven't seen it yet.
Hold. Oh wait, hold on. That's got text in it. I'm gonna show the text. Hold on to me. So this is don't take this as it's like a final form, but what it's gonna end up looking like is kind of a constellation, really. Where, if the left side of this sphere is Bastion and the right side is Warlord, being a Warlord warrior does not mean, these specific things. It's however you choose to move in this direction, and ultimately what you choose to unlock. Left side Bastion, right side Warlord. It's not. It's an expression. It's ultimately a culmination. You're culminating in this Warlord expression by investing on that side of the circle, and there will be things that are very definitive about the Warlord warrior. There will be actual play style that will come from it, as you pick, various things, and things that I would say are kind of quintessential for being a true DPS warrior. There will be things that you need and things that you will pick up along the way to do that. But you don't have to. That's the other side of it, is that it's being built to kind of be, it's built to be that free. Like in World of Warcraft, their talent tree, like you couldn't help but like go down ultimately to, you didn't have to go all the way down, but it's like it all culminated in kind of this ultimate moment, right? Where it's like, okay, now I've reached the end of the, the protection tree. I am a prot warrior. I've got the, the 31 point tally, whatever. And WoW, you could, I guess the equivalent would be like just putting points into all 3 trees and not really going super far down in either one. But the idea is that you don't need to go, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go straight right and left. You don't have to go northwest or southeast. You go, if you're interested in tanking, you're going to want to, be in the Bastion side. There may be some things on the warrior side that are also helpful that you might end up picking up. But there's going to be a lot of exclusive options where if I pick this on the Bastion side, I'm not going to be able to get this on the Warlord side. There'll be things that are prerequisite driven, and there will be, to some extent, there's not going to be capstone. I see your question, Synthetic. There's not going to be these like capstone unlocks that are like, some kind of like ultimate, this is like the ultimate last node that I can possibly unlock on this side, and I have to get that. But there will be kind of important milestone, pseudo capstone like nodes all along the way. I'm just not going to talk a whole lot about that because we'll get into it when we can talk actual details. But yeah.
Thank you for showing that. I appreciate it a lot. One of the comments was that it looks a lot like the enshrouded tree or like circle. The shared world RPG survival game.
Enshrouded?
Yeah.
I still haven't played it, but I need to.
It's a really good game. Enshrouded, and also Enshrouded has multiple classes, so it's a bit more. But Enshrouded has, so it'd be like if Enshrouded you took, I guess, like 2 halves of it off, and then you left with other 2 halves of it. But Enshrouded is a great game.
I need to take a look at what it looks like. I'm having trouble visualizing. What do you mean taking half of it off?
Like the top 2 halves.
Oh, so you just have like the bottom part of the circle, like the lower half kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
But the Enshrouded is still that game that I want you to try just for the gliding for Pantheon, because you still have gliding as a plan, correct?
Yes.
As a traversal mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Good grief, yes.
The top 2 has, yeah. I didn't explain it well, Man of Rohan. I know. You can explain it better. If you hadn't left our podcast, Man of Rohan.
Literally, I cannot, like, apparently I was about to die there. Didn't know it. Didn't see it. It didn't register. I'm literally looking here.
Profundius is about to die too.
This is I'm blind to this. Like I might as well not even be able to see that. Where is it? Oh, he was in the wall.
I don't know. I tried to heal him with Ranger heal. It is Red You Hear.
Hey, sir. Really excited to hear you and Vladis chat. Last stream, you were talking about having icons in social, maybe cross swords or shield, etc. I had a suggestion. If you go that way, have all warriors get both in social to start and only lose one of the icons if I do specialize. That way, people who have specialized really stand out in social. That's cool. By the way, Malfelis, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. And again, like we're talking about this... Yeah, this is a really great conversation about the mastery stuff. It's nice to actually be able to kind of like go back and forth in real time on it, because I'm typically just talking to chat, and it's hard to get that kind of like real flow of back and forth. So, and it's good too because you're playing devil's advocate a little bit and kind of that's really cool. But we're talking about mastery, even though it is in and of itself like it's a complete system, and it kind of stands alone as worthy of conversation and kind of understanding. But it's also important to say that there are ways, for example, that some of the updates we're doing with skills, and even one of the new kind of like systems we have planned around skills in particular, and what you're able to do with skills to really kind of progress and master them, is just another layer of how you're going to see class differentiation within the same class. What techniques have you unlocked? What weapons have you chosen to really specialize in? These are all things that will, you will see warriors that, kind of focus more and really gravitate more towards, swords versus axes versus hammers, one-handed versus two-handed, dual wield versus two-handed. There's going to be a lot of interesting kind of depth coming on that side as well, and so it's like you have to kind of like brace a little bit for a lot of that depth that's coming to how you and it's not in an overwhelming sense. Like these things aren't like in and of themselves. It's literally like what weapon are you using? How far are you going with that skill? And are there any skills that in particular that you want to really focus on? And we're providing, we'll say, a path for really like focusing it and, really feeling like there's reason to kind of lean into particular weapons. And we'll talk about that more. but there's a lot of the depth of class development and progression and expression that we've been excited about is coming in spring. So lots of good conversations to have.
The stuff about skills is one of the things that I think I'm most excited about, because, and I don't know how much y'all are going to end up leading into it, or how much like how it's going to play out in like when we actually get to go and do it. But one of the things that I always found strange in a lot of like level focused MMOs is that you have skills and all it is just leveling it up, and then there's not really any like point to it. It's just kind of like it's a thing that you have to do so that you don't miss, and that's pretty much it. And coming from my first MMO being Ultima Online, skills were the level, like that is what you did by doing the thing. That's how you got better at it. So I like the idea of doing the thing, making you better at the thing, and then actually mattering. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out in Pantheon when that comes in. I'm really excited to see what happens with it.
We had a lot of discussions around that, because I love that too. One of my favorite game genres is like survival crafting type games, where you start out just like barely being able to do anything, and then you slowly raise these skills, and you start like being able to mine faster or build more or run faster. I mean, Valheim's a great example of that. And you're incentivized to go and jump around because you have a jump skill, that like you want to see those numbers go up, and you want to feel that sense of I can jump higher, and there's a really satisfying loop there. And but at the same time, Pantheon's not a survival crafting type game, and so it's like it's one of those many places where you have something that you love, a field that you love that you really resonate with, and then it's the process of like, okay, how does that actually translate into an MMO, where the reason it feels that way a lot of times is because that's just kind of how it works. Like you have a weapon skill, you swing your weapon in combat, and you're just kind of naturally leveling up. So a lot of the conversations we had were around, what can we do potentially to kind of create, like still have that, and how do we make that feel weightier than it does, even if it is kind of a given by using a weapon in combat or various things. How can we make that feel weightier? And one of the ways is what actually constitutes a skill up chance, which again, I'm going to talk categorically here. I'm not going into details on anything, but there you can look at, okay, what's actually constituting a skill up chance, like the chance that I would see an incremental improvement. And then there's also like things like techniques, and making techniques kind of like sharpening the vision of what techniques are and why they're necessary and useful in combat, so you feel even more incentivized to have them and use them. But instead of them being just like automatically granted to you once you reach the skill, it's just another one of those places where it's like you can draw inspiration. I mean, even going all the way back to Zelda 2, right, where you go to the village and learn how to do the downward thrust, because you go and you learn it from the guy that can teach you that, and you have to have the skill to learn it, and you have to find out where you learn it. And so you have these techniques becoming a lot more valuable and a lot more prestigious if you have certain things, because you've discovered how to do it, how to find it, where it is, and you've convinced the person that knows it how to like that they should teach it to you. That's another layer of making skill more meaningful beyond just like how it skills up. Another thing, it's a small thing, but another thing I don't think there's anything wrong to say is like we wanted to bring back the that kind of like little touch that you had, where you actually had like idols related to how skillful you were in something. So you went from like awful to like below average to very good, ultimately to master in your skill. So even just little things like that, where you feel like your character, feel more connected to your character's progression and their skillfulness, and then also having a little bit more of like some combat benefits that come with higher skill. Not just being related to hit or your accuracy or your chance to land a spell, but depending on, dancing around my words here, but depending on how you skill up and depending on what you what you do with that skill, you could even squeeze out a little bit extra in terms of what having a high skill means for you should you achieve it. So a lot of vagueness in there to we're not quite ready to get into some of this stuff in detail yet, but it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it.
I am too. I mean, because it adds an extra thing. Like there was when I got a couple different people to start playing Pantheon who had never really played a lot of MMOs. There was a really cool moment where we were all competing to get our climbing skill up the fastest, and we were in the little like spider cave, kind of as you're going towards the no, I'm blanking on like the names of places, but in King's Reach, the little area with the spiders, and we were climbing on the walls in between pulls, trying to get it as high as possible. And then people were logging on after groups and stuff like that to get their climbing skill up faster, to have higher climbing skill than the next person. And so it's just like this secondary thing that has nothing to do with like vertical progression, like even though it is quite literally vertical progression, but it's just a little secondary thing that's fun to do, that's not leveling up.
Oh yeah, it is.
And it reminds me of getting swimming up in EverQuest. Swimming against walls. If you weren't an Ixar anyway, starting with 100 swimming.
Yeah, go to bed and just leave it running all night.
Yeah.
You're scooting. Okay, a couple questions here. Hey, what's up, Doski? Good to see you. How are you doing? I am doing good. I am about to hit level 15. What are
the new skills I got?
D&D gets crazy though, because each deity has a different dogma, and cleric or paladin classes are renamed for each god and really have different abilities and roles. But yeah.
Cool. Oh my god.
Because of cherished blade Cindercleave, most DPS classes that can specialize in two-handed swords will just run with that in hopes of getting their hands on that weapon one day. Would be great if there were other weapons that could compare in power and aesthetic. That is one strong, very cool looking weapon. Yeah, and there will be, and there will also be, if like, that's a great example. If you resonate with one-handed weapons, and again, your kind of like power fantasy and what you enjoy is like, I want to be a dual wielding. I want to dual wield. That's another place where in the mastery. With mastery, we can like allow you to. Those are just options that you pick along the way, as opposed to the two-handed options. Or if you want to be balanced, like if you want to have both, then you can make that decision based on other things that you forego. Except to the degree that there could be, again, like I said, mutually exclusive things. So there might be a little kind of run and mastery related to dual wield, where you have these options that are connected, and maybe the end one, the final one, which is like kind of the, maybe the strongest one, requires like all of the preceding ones to be filled in. And so you can really lean into that and say like, that's how I want to be. And then of course we need to make sure itemization wise that, there's enough really desirable and performant weapons out there to kind of fit all those different things, which there will be. I mean, that's a big area that we're working on. Any indication that you are eligible to learn a new technique once you hit a required skill level? Yes, there will be. In fact, so that is one thing that we will keep. Right now, when you hit the required skill, like let's say you're using maces and you get that last skill up. Right now, once you hit that skill level, you get a level message that says new technique learned or new skill learned or whatever. It goes right into your book. Instead, what will happen is you'll get a message that essentially says something like you sense that you're ready to learn something new or something like that related to that skill, and there'll be kind of a starting point that players learn, like when that happens, how to kind of act on that, where to get started, to kind of figure out, at least to kind of give yourself some direction of where to go. The more basic, earlier techniques, it'll be a little clearer, and might even be directly related to your like build trainer. But then more advanced techniques, you'll have to kind of figure out where these people are, and that goes all the way back to my interview in at PAX 2017, where I was talking about like those masters in the world, that those will exist for techniques, they'll exist for some class abilities and things like that too. There's another really cool thing I'm excited about too. I'm not going to say it, but it's another prestige layer that comes from like really high skill that I'm excited to talk about. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying, when you talked about the masters in the world, I was remembering that from some of those early interviews, like the masters in the world, and I think I remember talking about like, is it like going to find like a forge or something like that for crafting somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Like because you can only craft in a place.
Amber Fate.
Yeah. I think that was that the same. It was just like the same era.
I think it was definitely the same era for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Then it may have even been the same thing, because I know Amber Fate was one of the places we were showing off in like the teaser video at PAX.
Yeah.
Can we keep the loot drop ranks in spring? Probably not. They will be improving, and we have a plan how we want to tweak them a little bit from what they were before we did this recent change, but they're not going to be exactly like this now. But it will be much easier, not only to explore the world and actually engage with NPCs that can drop some of the things that you're interested in getting, but the way that you're able to kind of like view the acquisition of items is going to be a lot smoother. I mean, like the rare stuff and the really rare stuff, and certainly like when you get into epic and like legendary mythical items and all that, that'll be properly rare. But the ability to feel like you can go out and get like a decent upgrade for your character and target certain things and have a reasonable sense of like being able to go somewhere and get certain things, that's going to improve quite a bit.
I have a question. When Body Dakara comes in, will we start to also see other bodies of water start to get populated with NPCs that may or may not be things we can fight? Like once we have the ability to fight in water.
Ask me that one more time.
So once we can fight in water, will we start to see other parts of the world that currently exist now? Will we start to see those get populated with NPCs? So like for example, in there's a lot of current places in Thronefast that have pretty deep water, but there's nothing in them right now. Will they start to get populated with enemies and stuff to go fight?
Yeah. Well, yes, they will. Remember though that let me back up. Body of Dakara is going to be the first water area that we develop with content in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the first area in the game that has like genuine underwater content. That includes underwater combat. That includes actual like NPC variety and things under the water. Certain things that are dangerous, certain things that are more ambient, and it's going to be where we kind of build this first taste of what the underwater experience Pantheon is going to be, which is not a Guild Wars 2 or WoW type underwater. It's meant to be more of kind of a Subnautica meets MMO type experience where you're not going to find things all over the place. There's going to be plenty of places where it's just It's just open water, and the point of that is to, similarly to on land, create this kind of sense of arrival and travel. Certainly if you're relying on just underwater swimming or water swimming to get places, not to mention like when we get boats fully implemented and you're doing long distance travel, but it's also to create that trepidation, because part of what makes the water appropriately unsettling is when you don't instantly compare it to overland and kind of get your bearings of like, okay, this is going to follow similar rules where there's lots of camps and it's kind of the same thing. Like the underwater needs to feel very different. And yes, I say that understanding that could mean a lot of people avoid it or purposely don't go into it, and that's okay, because that's part of how you build a water experience that actually does for the world what it needs to do in an immersive sense, where it is truly like a kind of a scary thing to do. I didn't like jumping into the water in Sea of Thieves, for example. It freaked me out, even if there was nothing to worry about, because it's just a big freaking ocean, and it looks like it and it feels like it, and it's doing its work, in that sense. But the difference with Pantheon is that there are going to be things actually to find, valuable things, interesting things, content, things like that. And so it's going to force players to kind of reckon with, like, I have to actually go there, to experience that. Anyway, don't want to get too sidetracked. Ding. The specific answer is yes, we will be backfilling areas with content, but it's not going to be kind of like now we're just going to sweep over all the water and get it all done. It will be, at first, it will be targeting specific areas where, there's like something very specific that we're wanting to build. So for example, the well pond would be a great...
The well pond is where I was thinking of initially.
That would be a good example of another water-based area that we would target.
It's already creepy. So.
To build out. It's already creepy. It's already got, it's got its whole kind of like setting and story. It's got a lot of props in it already. It just needs some of its creatures. And so that would be a definite easy one to tackle. When it comes to just general ocean, like the inlet, kind of the inlet that comes in around Thronefast, or places where you can jump in the water off the other coast of Wild's End or something like that. Those things are going to take longer. Lakes, rivers, those things are going to take a little longer, because we just have more higher priority areas to work on first.
Okay. Yeah, more stuff in Wild's End, and making the well pond. The well pond is a big place of interest. It looks cool, and going down there is super cool, but there's nothing down there right now. Why are you mad at me? What did I do? Oh, because Glorfest died. That's why. Okay.
Glor. Glor. I'm pretty sure that heal got off. I mean, you can check the
check the logs.
You can check the logs. I mean, I'm pretty sure that heal got off, but it is what it is.
I think you're tanking this, Joppa. Maybe.
That's fine.
Oh no, it's running away. I like this aim to kill skill. I just got it at level 12. I like it a lot.
Game's looking good, Jabba. Thank you, Giga. Giga sad. That is good to hear. Where in the world is Hybrace meant to be? Hybrace actually sits in a central part of the ocean in between the three continents.
I can get. There you go, Mana Rohan. I have stuff to show you at some point, Mana Rohan. I got some new art to show you. Some new Lord of the Rings art to remind me another time.
How's the visual clarity work going? Well, it is waiting its turn in line to be worked on, so the work hasn't started yet. But what we do have is a large list of the things that need to be done. Like, believe me, like when that starts, like when we get to the point where it's like, okay, now it's time for visual clarity. Oh my goodness. Like, I mean, we're going to be covering that hot and heavy on stream, and I'm going to be glorying in it. You will not miss it when that rolls around. What's up, the main start? Good to see you. Vimper, the character wipe is actually happening in the spring. Yeah. And yes, it is still on. Still on.
Go for it.
What's your software dev practice like? You guys agile or more waterfall? Definitely more agile. Yeah. Glorf. Button rebuff. I got level 15. What do I get at level 15? Do I even have the money to buy it?
Well, see, the thing is, like, I got level 13, and I didn't actually expect to get to level 13, so I didn't get any spells or skills. I guess I had my stuff for level 12, and I'm enjoying the fact that I can now summon a rat, so that's cool.
Yes.
I mean, they go very slow.
No, I just called. I have to call it into account. What is this floor? How dirty is this floor? In fact, in most of the RPGs that we play and love, how dirty are the floors?
Are you saying that because I just summoned my pet rat and I'm walking my rat around the floor? That's extremely rude.
That's the same floor. I just was sliding myself along face down.
There are dead skeletons walking around and you're complaining about the rat?
No, I'm saying all of it as a whole. When you think of how it all accumulates together, it's like, what are we doing? Can you imagine? Like, I mean, it's no wonder that people just struggled to feel good a lot of times back then, because it's like the death, the decay, the skeletons walking around, the vicariously controlled rodents, the crust. I mean, it literally is. I mean, that's really all you have to say.
Just the crust.
The degree of crust.
That's the next thing. That's the next thing you need to add into the game, is just over time build up a crust that grows on the floor.
And players have a crust meter that kind of just grows.
So you just get, so you know, like how you go in here, and if you get too close to the little crystals over there, you get the little toxic thing. So just over time, you get a little toxic as you go in here into the.
We had that at one point, where when we used to have skunks in Throne Fast, they could spray you. And if you went and jumped in the water, it would.
Is it
little things like that back?
In EverQuest, did they give you disease? The skunks?
Yeah, it was considered a disease. I don't think it had any effect.
No, I think it was just disease, right? God, and it was terrible because you couldn't, like, earlier, because there was like no cures unless you were. I mean, at least for me, because I was not a cleric or anything. I didn't have cure. When I first played, I tried all the classes that had nothing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and it lasted forever.
Rabies was awful because it actually like shut down your health regen. So the skunk stink was just it was just more of a cosmetic thing. But like, yeah, some of the diseases like rabies were awful. I have very low mana, by the way, and I did heal you, Lord. Glorf, your Glorf.
I tried to heal Glorf, but it's too slow.
Why am I not? What is going on? Okay, I think we're good. But I'm just out of mana.
You're just too busy talking about skunks.
I am. It's you know, it is.
It's the priorities. You know, it's what it is.
Yeah.
I gotta heal. Fundus. I gotta heal. Yeah.
Sorry, Glorf. Oh, Glorf. Do you have any plans to sign those adoption papers I sent over? This game makes me want to be your son. Well, I haven't gotten them yet, Ghostly. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I have not seen any papers as of yet. It is good to see you, by the way.
Drop your churro in the crust.
In a recent stream, you talked about building out the Infest City. I remember you talking about how Brad mentioned that took an insanely long time to do an EverQuest. You guys have an iterative approach to building these cities. So ready to have a real city in game, but understand it isn't the highest priorities. Yeah, we do have an approach. We have a lot of the kind of blockouts that, you know, we're going to be using to build the city done. We have actually a good bit of the art as well. I mean, we still have a good bit of art that we need, but we have a good bit of art. Brad's stance on it was the relationship between the time that it took to build and the bang for buck, like is the juice worth the squeeze kind of a thing, where you put all of this time into building this massive city and then no one ever goes there. And he was coming fresh off of the new Targanor from Vanguard, which was just this massive city. And then it was just kind of a ghost town. Like, people just didn't tend to go there. And so he was very, in fact, what's funny is one of the first arguments that Brad and I had, and we had a few, was on that, because the original Pantheon design document had no capital cities. It was more that the sanctums were these kind of like freely travelable POIs, starting areas and POIs. So every race, you could choose which one you wanted to start at, and all the races could choose any of the three sanctums on the three different continents to start at. And I remember reading that, and I had a real issue with that, because and that's a lot of our conversations were about, like, you know, one of the things that I love and remember most fondly about EverQuest is like the starting cities and that connection, feeling that connection to where you start in the game. And we eventually, you know, got to that point, but it was with the caveat of like, hey, let's not go overboard. Let's not go too far. And, you know, Thronefast, what's interesting about Thronefast, the city, is that it's the human capital city, and it's the most opulent city, and therefore the largest capital city of all of them. So it is the largest one. The Dwarven, the Kadasa, the Bastion is probably second largest. But I remember that being such an interesting. There's like a couple of things, like that was one of them. I'm trying to remember what some of our other like arguments were. It's wild. I remember one time, like, actually, like him actually like red in the face yelling at me when we were talking about what are we talking about? We were talking about itemization, and he was talking about how much he loves to hoard items. Like, he was such an item hoarder, and he loved a bunch of items and having a ton of items and situational gear. That's what it was. Situational gear. He was so big on that. Like, he wanted to need to have specific gear for specific things, and he wanted there to be a lot of different things that kind of necessitated lots of different kinds of specific gear, and you had to have this bespoke gear to go here and do this, and this gear to go here and do that. And it was in our first, it was either our first or second, like in person. It was like probably the third time that I had ever kind of been with him in person. And I remember we were having these design meetings. It was awesome. It was so fun. And we were sitting around this big table, me and Brad, and I think it was actually like Monty from back in the day, and maybe Corey was there. I can't remember. But I just remember really pressing him on that and just being like, and I was, in retrospect, I was kind of being a jerk about it. I was kind of like, Brad, like, that's like, no, it's dumb. Like, nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to deal with that much gear. Like, nobody. Like, and he would kind of, you know, push it again and kind of like try to come out for a different angle. And I just kept kind of shutting it down. And I just remember he got really, really upset. And, you know, I kind of like backed off a little bit and whatever. And afterwards, like we had a big hug and like we kind of talked it through a little bit. And it was, I'm pretty sure that was like the first time that we had like a really strong, like, conflict. And it kind of set the tone for like ultimately what would become a lot of our interactions, you know, as we went along. Because there were a lot of times where, you know, either one of us would like vehemently disagree on something, and we learned how to like be honest and kind of feel our feelings, but, you know, kind of in a way that we were clear where we stood, and, you know, the friendship and all that. And it was a really cool, weird that it's cool, but it was a cool moment. Sorry for the unexpected storytelling hour there.
No, that's good. That's good. I was just being quiet. Give room for the storytelling.
I'm just standing here not meditating.
Well, now there's two things trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, which is perfect. I'm glad that I have no mana.
Oh shit. Okay, wait.
Wow.
Wait. Oop. Okay, everybody's dying.
Oh my.
Okay. Well, at least the wipe waited for the end of story time.
Yeah. It very thoughtfully did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very, very into the collecting. It was one of his loves for sure. Yo, JN, what's up, man?
It's all about catch.
Fought with him about aspects of the collisions and synchronized rest being underwater. I think I kind of remember some of that. Some of those run-ins. Is there an auction house in this game? Ozzy, the auction house is coming in the spring update. It's one of the many things coming in spring. A mail system and an auction house is part of it. And yes, there is PvP in this game. The PvP server is kind of sleeping. It's early access. It had a really good run when we opened it up. It's kind of a free-for-all Sullen-Zek style. Well, not Sullen-Zek because it's not teams. It's more of like a Rallosec, I guess. But Pantheon's a PvE first, kind of PvE focused game. And yeah, part of our conviction is that good PvP really sits on and in a good PvE game. That's part of what makes at least open world and kind of classical PvP gives it its magic, when there's, you know, vying and like deep PvE progression and gameplay that it's kind of incorporated within. But Pantheon is not a PvPvE game where you've got, you know, it kind of coexisting on like the same server or whatever. PvP will be on its own server. There'll be different rule sets for the PvP servers, some creative rule sets, and then there will be some curated PvP modes or different kinds of things that you can queue for on any server, but would be, kind of its own contained environment, wouldn't affect the PvE in any way.
Will we? I think it's been talked about for a while, but will we get a dual command, like a / dual command, or like an arena? Like in Freeport, there was the arena where you go in and PvP is on PvE servers, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
We will have those faux show,
so we can beat up our friends.
Yeah, we'll have like areas. We'll have the dual command. We'll have both of those things.
It becomes the crust. Oh, you started something with the crust, Joppa.
I'm telling you, it is thick in here.
Every time the crust gets mentioned, I'm gonna have to bring out the rat. Babin.
Little Babin.
Crust climate, it impacts your movement speed greatly. It's just a snare.
This right here, even though it's brown leather, this might be one of the coolest looking characters I've seen. I'm a huge dwarf fan.
Mask.
This is awesome. Yeah, the mask is sick.
Yeah.
Who do we need to? Who is this? Everlord. Got some serious aura, Everlord. Congrats.
That's cool.
Congrats. Very cool looking. And who's this little friend? Yebiner.
Very cool. Could that be a profession later? Rare item collector that could possibly unlock quest gear, upgrade or items, boost in proficiency?
Hello there. Thank you for following Redbeard Flynn. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Not yet, Malfelis. I think that's... When is the summoner update? That's this month, right?
It is. Yep. Here we go. OG's running this ish again. How about you put some actual content into the game? You've had more than a decade in this. It's still pre-alpha release date of 2040 or what? So
2040.
No, but what you're seeing here, yes, running this again because I'm level 15. A lot of the content that we've added since EA started, at least, has been higher level stuff. We're almost at the verge of being able to go to Black Rose Keep, which I still have yet to actually experience yet.
That's cool.
But yeah,
I like
we
Black
are.
Rose Keep a lot.
We'll be launching a long time before 2040, though. I can tell you that much. A long time.
I like the openness of Black Rose Keep, at least like the outside, just because it feels different from all this other stuff. But I haven't gotten high enough to go experience Hangor, which is something I really want to do.
Hangor is fun.
Yeah,
I've done it once. I was a little too low level, so it was.
I've watched Malkael do it, because Malkael actually like plays the game well. So I've watched him do it, and it looks a lot of fun.
Oh, I don't shy away from comments like that though. Like I don't, because it is what it is. Like I feel like when I see people ignore things like that, like you have to be able to engage with like legitimate criticism. You have to be able to engage with criticism. I feel like to just ignore it sometimes just feels a little like, I don't know. It honestly, it can feel cringy to me sometimes to not engage with criticism.
Sorry.
And that's just a me thing. But it is what it is. I mean, like I said yesterday, like I'm done apologizing for how long it's taken. Because, I mean, you know, people that are going to criticize us for how long it's taken, like, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm done. Because the people criticizing for how long it's taken don't have to have ownership of how it would have failed had we pushed it out too soon, or pushed it out incomplete, or pushed it out broken, or whatever. Nobody has to deal with that but us. So the fact that we are able to be intentional about making sure that the game is ready for the kind of scrutiny that games go through these days, the kind of scrutiny that games deal with, is insane. And we need to be ready for that, because the game deserves as much of a chance as it can, even especially with how long we've been working on it. And so it's like, I can't make us have more money. I can't make us have more people. I can't go back and fix, you know, some of the mistakes that were made based on inexperience in the early days. You know, that it is what it is. So the reality, and that's why I always say, like, the reality is either like, if you have any interest in the game, play it, see what it feels like, see if it's something that you feel like you believe in or would like to see where it's ultimately going to go, and then like encourage it moving on. I feel like the constant like, man, this has taken like 10 years, like, yeah, it has. So what's the next thing that, you know, there is to say? Like, what now? What's the situation? Where do you go from there? Like, yeah, it's taken 10 years, so what? Like, stop, go home, like, quit? What's the what's on the other side of that? Because if it's just, it's taken 10 years and then like pointing and laughing or like whatever, then it's like, okay, you know, that I don't mind calling attention to, because it's like it you know, it just kind of like,
I think
there's no
that's always been my like contention with it, because it's not coming with anything. It's not a critique, you know. Like if it's a decision of like, well, I'm not going to support this because it's taken so long, okay, then that's fine. But that's not a critique. It's just commentary for the sake of commentary. And I get it. There's a lot of people that enjoy doing such things, but I don't understand the need at this point any longer, because it just gets really boring. I guess is really, because I mean I'm not like nearly as obviously invested in the game. I just cover it. I cover lots of MMOs, but I hear it a lot, and it gets really boring.
Yeah, and it's also like it distracts from, so there's two things at play here. There's the OG, like the old guard people that have been, you know, watching Pantheon's development for a long time, and they have been waiting truly a long time. Glorify, I understand now that you were trying to get me to sit. Thank you so much. Let me actually do this first. So there's that group, and that's a group that's like, you know, that kind of stuff, which again, like I'm going to say, like I do not mind that criticism. Like, when I read that, I don't read that as somebody that's just here to crap on the game. I read that as most likely somebody that is interested in Pantheon, that's probably a lot like me in a lot of ways, that just wants a game to play, and is frustrated about how long it's taken, it's fine. Like, and it's, you know, if more people want to come in and ask that, like, that's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with responding to that, and I understand it. But it's this mixture right now of, like, you have people that are coming from Ashes, for example, that are looking at Pantheon and they're reading all of this history and they're seeing comments like that and they're saying, well, is there something to be worried about here? And it's understandable because you've just had this situation where you have been so invested and so excited. I mean, Ashes was, like, among all of the indie MMOs, or, you know, more indie-like MMOs, that was the one that I think felt the sturdiest because it had the most money, the largest team, the most kind of broad acceptance and excitement and general hype and kind of onboardness. And it just ended in such a dramatically shocking fashion that it's kind of like, well, now anything's possible. Like, nothing's set in stone. Something like that can fail. Just like I can't see, like, my own health. I can never see my own health in the midst of everything else.
Don't worry, I will heal you.
I'm just, like, slide
as
this
a ranger. I will save you. Where can I put this? Oh, you died.
Where
Oops.
I see it.
Okay. Well, I did heal you. I tried.
Anyway. So I understand. And so, like, JLu, perfectly reasonable question. None of what I'm saying right now is directed at you at all. When is 1.0? Is it too soon to ask? We just haven't announced it yet. We have an internal date. We know what we're shooting for. We haven't announced it because, just like with, like, massive AAA studios with tons of money, tons of people, plenty of projects in the rearview mirror, it's not their first rodeo. They still have delays sometimes, and it's so we haven't announced it yet, but we do have a target date. But yeah, there's a lot of people that have kept tabs on Pantheon. They're interested in it. Ashes was kind of their main game, and now that that's gone, like, they're understandably taking a look and kind of feeling things out. And I just want people to be able to distinguish between, like, yes, this project's taken a long time. Yes, we've had some missteps along the way. Yes, there is a crowd that I think has kind of taken to really trying to, like, just do their best to make it seem like this is not a legitimate thing. But the difference now is that really only that the power of that effort only goes so far. With now that we've launched early access and we had such an amazing response to that, and so much goodwill and interest and excitement for people that have played Pantheon for the first time, to know that what we're making is special. It is worthy to exist. It will exist and is going to be an amazing game. And so I want people to be able to process through, like, reeling from Ashes, figuring out whether they feel like Pantheon is sturdy enough to kind of put their heart into a little bit without all the noise of, like, you know, the fact that, yeah, it's taken a long time. These games are tough. They're tough to make, and we're a small team. We're scrappy, and we've chosen to make a relatively intricate, detailed, vast game. And some people would say, hey, you bit off a little more than you could chew, and maybe we did. But at the end of the day, it's like, we want to make something great. We want to make something we're proud of. We want to make something that people are actually going to be able to play for a long period of time. We don't want to be another one of these MMOs that comes out and people play it for a couple months and they're like, eh. Like, we want this to be a forever game. We want this to be a game that can last for decades. Like, and it needs some girth. It needs some framework. It needs some depth, and that's not easy. It's not easy to make, and it's not easy to make it performant and stable, and, you know, so it's just, anyway. I'm going down tangents again, guys. I need to guard myself from tangents.
It's okay. I healed Glorfest.
Thank you.
with my ranger heal.
Health.
Yeah, well, he went. They went purple, and I healed them.
Thank you, Glorf. Thanks for your patience, my friend. Seriously, man. Thank you.
I think that the way I see it is I've already gotten well over 100 hours of playtime in this game, and I've enjoyed myself. I know it's not complete, it's not a full game, but the fact that I've already had that much fun with this game without even getting to max level, I don't know what else to say other than that. I've had a lot of fun in the game with it being incomplete, and I really wish more people could just enjoy what they have and what they're doing instead of like wishing what could be, and just like have fun. Enjoy what you're doing now. I think you'll just end up happier.
Playing is believing in a lot of ways. And I think that's true for a lot of these games. MMOs, I think, have a very unique way of not really representing themselves well vicariously. You watch gameplay and it's not the thing where you're like, I've got to play that. That's one thing that Ash has had it going for it, because it's such a beautiful game that it did have the power to kind of like, just through watching, you were kind of like, oh, like. But a lot of MMOs that, you know, don't have that really high polish, like visual kind of, and animation and visual effects and the whole kind of like package, it's a lot harder for it to kind of reach through the screen and grab you. And it's good to be able to kind of get a feel for it, because there's been so many people I've heard that have watched Pantheon gameplay, have finally tried it out, and we're like, oh my gosh, like I expected this to be like janky and like sluggish and kind of, and they're like this feels great. Like it's hard to even tell sometimes the difference between this and like playing WoW in terms of like movement and responsiveness, and you know, playing is believing in a lot of ways. And also, you know, as this year ramps up, I think as you guys see what's coming in the latter half of the year, like once we release the second half of the year roadmap, once spring hits, we stick that landing, summer hits, we stick that landing, and then where you guys see we're going, even, I mean, this year is insane, you know, in terms of all that is being done. So I do think this year will be very shaping, and I think spring is going to be huge for like bringing a lot of people back. But anyway, like, if I could say one final thing, and then we can move on from this tangent, like, guys, we're good. Like, we're good. Don't feel anything but confident in what we are building and the strength of the studio, and just, you know, like, be excited. Be excited.
I think Glorf will be excited when you keep him healed.
Well, part of this, you know, it may not be obvious, but part of this is me really kind of like helping Glorf grow as a tank.
Wait, is this part of the skills? Is one of the new skills going to be like a near-death skill, and you have to train it by dying a lot or getting close to dying?
It's kind of it's actually more of like specifically for Glorf. This is the way that I'm helping him kind of, you know, reach into those parts of his potential that he can't quite tap into on his own. Yeah.
Project Gorgon dying. Yeah. Project Gorgon has a lot of interesting skills. I'm glad that game got to finally launch the 1.0 after what they had to go through.
Yeah, I mean, Pantheon's visuals have come a long way. Like, once we get a lot of the UI updated, both in function and kind of the aesthetic, we, you know, finish a few more rounds of like animation polish. We improve a lot of that kind of clarity, you know, visual clarity and combat, whatnot. I mean, I'm really happy with what we've achieved. I mean, considering that it's Unity, which Unity is great in a lot of ways. Unity is not really known for its like rendering awe-inspiring rendering beauty. It's not an Unreal. It's not like a heyday CryEngine type thing. It's so, but like we said from the beginning, we want a performant game more than we want a mind-blowingly gorgeous game. We want a game that runs on the most systems, the most PC builds possible, that the most people can play and have a smooth, stable experience. That ultimately, getting the visuals as good as they can get without ticking away at any of that stuff. That's where we're going for.
Is any of the armor that you showed, I think it was 2 streams ago, for the skeletons, will that ever end up on Necromancer pets?
Maybe.
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 Maybe. So maybe.
So good. I'm gonna hit level 14 at this rate. It's almost like there's double experience or something.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
It's almost the amount of thaumaturge, just look at the sea of thaumaturge bodies. It's almost like they bumped that spawn rate too a little bit. I had my corpse. Goodness. Oh, Profundus. By the way, Profundus, thanks so much for hanging as long as you have. And tell your wife that we appreciate it very much. If it's anything like my wife, that she won't care at all, that you said that. But yeah.
Wait, he hadn't looted his corpse? Wolfgar? Jabba? Did you just finally loot your corpse?
Yes. I did. I looted one of them. There might be more. What have we inadvertently designed with this thing? This? I cannot see this. It's like it doesn't exist. But it doesn't matter where I put it. This thing. This. I can't see it. I put it here. By tucking it under the bars.
That's the one thing that wasn't changed. So like when y'all made the UI change that like made a huge improvement to most of the UI, the one thing that wasn't changed, because it's like a set piece, is your own like health bar thing. Because I guess it's like all like connected, right? But when you're able to remove all of the chunkiness around the action bars and like the group bars, the health bar stayed the same. But I wish we could change that and like stretch it a little bit, or like alter it, move it, change it a little.
I'm just gonna literally put it right. I mean, maybe what if I did?
But then you lose a lot of excuses, Joppa.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that why it's still that way?
That's true. I've got to say it. It's not going to matter, because I would say most people believe it. But when I'm not streaming, I'm not a bad healer to have.
When no one's watching me, I'm the best gamer in the world too. It's the craziest thing.
So, that just needs to be said and clear. There are times, I think, while I'm playing, that my abilities shine through.
No Fascinate cap. Felix.
No cap. Say less.
there's a question about will this have any instance PvP like Battlegrounds, and I believe the answer is no, right?
Not like Battlegrounds,
Yeah.
but there will likely be an instanced form of PvP that looks similar to the
Oh, okay.
7 testing mode that we did at some point.
At some point. Yeah. So the full question was, does this or will it have instance PvP like Battlegrounds, both small scale and large scale? So would that kind of go under large scale?
Because, I mean, large scale enough that it's
Like the whole thing?
it's the whole zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be a little more clear, what I mean by the 247 testing mode that we did is essentially like a survival extraction mode. So that's really what I want us to explore in our like curated instance PvP is an actual like Escape from Tarkov-esque survival extraction PvP mode.
Is the plan that would be something that's integrated into the game itself? When, like, in the future?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll actually like an in-game location that you need to go to like do that. It'll absolutely be integrated into the game. It'll be, for all intents and purposes, essentially like how Battlegrounds worked in WoW, where you have places where you could queue up for them. Yeah.
I think like Alterac Valley is what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
But extraction.
Right. What's going on, Yavin? Good to see you. Put your own health on top of the group health bar
Thank
windows.
you, CC.
That will see it as part of your scan. Try. Actually, you know what? That might actually do something. Oh yeah. It's right, because I'm scanning over here to see like if anybody's low health.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah.
Interesting. It's looking like someone
dark and darker.
walked through the fire themselves. Yeah, that's much better. Now we just need to solve the problem of like being able to see these more clearly. And my debuffs. The debuffs are the big thing that I need to see more clearly.
Do you find it helpful playing the game, like, to, like, from a design standpoint? Do you find it, like, getting a better feel?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, Skiatch?
Thank you, Snickerdoodle.
Yeah, take care, Snickerdoodle. Oh look, I noticed my health went down a little bit. I noticed.
One of the things I've been noticing, like, playing this, like, so this is kind of my first time playing the Ranger at any kind of decent group experience for like an extended period of time. And obviously there's very different areas for Ranger, and I've seen other people play Ranger in smaller, more compact or scarier areas with big drops. But the momentum thing is a lot of fun in flat areas. Like the jumping in and out, going back and forth to like force the crits and stuff like that. It's a little bit less fun in raised areas, but it's a lot of fun right here.
That's going to be fixed. And that's going to make a huge difference, I think.
Yeah.
Where right now you walked like so easily. That's going to be fixed.
Yeah, like an AVP with hills.
Oh, yeah.
But it works great in here, right here, where there's nowhere you can accidentally fall off the edge.
Right? Yeah.
Ooh, laying out the group winner horizontally.
I need these health bars. So first of all, I don't need to see stamina. I don't need to see people's stamina.
Yeah.
I don't even really need to see people's mana. But I definitely don't need to see essence. I don't need to see momentum. And I need these health bars to be at least twice as thick.
Not a fan of the hopping in and out. I'm enjoying it more, and like you don't have to do it, Baron. You can not do it and still feel good. But right now it does. You do have a limit on the skills that I have right now. Like I have not a ton of melee versus a ton of range skills, so hopping back and forth is helpful to have more skills to throw at it. But I could stay in and just do melee skills, or I could stay out and just do range skills. I think I've talked to another friend of mine who plays a higher level ranger, and he, I think, likes to just do ranged and enjoys just playing the ranged. But I'm not I'm not good. So, but I'm having fun. And they also changed recently not recently, but they changed the heal to heal over time, which makes it a lot nicer. The ranger heal. And there's also something just kind of smooth about how your auto attacks switch based on range instead of you having to do it. Yeah, I'm curious about the masteries for Ranger too. If it ends up being like range versus melee or something like that.
I saw my health, guys. I didn't die because I actually saw my health that time.
But can you see Glorf's health?
Yes.
We're making progress.
It's actually happening. Like I feel like I'm actually. You know what I mean? And I'm like noticing my debuffs now. A whole new world.
I will never like not give you shit when we group together in this game, Java, because the very first time we did, you took me to go see a werewolf thing and told me to go look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it immediately murdered me. Mm-hmm. And then a little bit later, you ran away when a bear attacked me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of that, you left me with bears in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I will continuously, every single time there's an opportunity.
I mean, it's practically the same training regimen I have Glorf.
This was the first impression.
You have to learn how to deal with bears. How to deal with werewolves. You've got to learn, when someone says, "Hey, go talk to that." Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it's not. This is all part of learning how to hold your own and Terminus. So I mean, I think Glorf's doing great. He's come a long way. So the training is working. Drop after the AOC. I'm gonna need you to make sure this thing pulls through to the end. Hey, Justin, we got you. We got you.
I am Baron Vane. Learn how to keep your distance.
I mean, even not sitting down to meditate in between pulls, like that's helping Glorf psychologically. There's a temperament that you need to develop, you know, to deal with things like that. So Catalyst is on the same training regimen, just, you know, not actively playing, but really, you know, helping. Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're all improving, you know, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to provide it.
One by one, the creative director of Pantheon is traumatizing every player in the game.
Yep. Glorf can put this on his resume. I grew up with Jop as a healer. I was the tank in a group with Jop as the healer. That's your guild application cover letter.
Honestly, I think that's Malkael's guild leader application. That he was the raid leader and Flynn was in his raids. He had to lead raids with me in them, so that's fair.
Rabbit Cliff!
That one was close.
Seemed like kind of a there was some attitude in that standing there and getting ripped up. Did you see that? The way he was just standing there looking at me like that? There was something being said there. I know it was. Wow. Okay, Glorf. Okay. It's just nothing. Health being eaten away, flesh getting rent off, like. Okay. Job, a question for you. When I worked in a game company, we had strict rules not to talk to customers for fear of suspicion of favoritism and bias. How do you plan to navigate this? I navigate it by the fact that, like, I don't think any. First of all, you should see my Discord inbox. It is no secret that I don't communicate, and I don't mean that personally. I don't, and a lot of the reason that I don't. I won't say I don't, but I very, very rarely and very purposefully communicate over things like Discord. So I'm aware at any given point in time, there are receipts that could be presented that, you know, like if there's something like, anyway, receipts can always be presented. What's hidden, I believe, always comes out into the light. And also, a lot of my interaction with the community, first of all, has been from like of old. Like I was part of this community when I started working here. I mean, briefly. And I've always been very active in the community. And a lot of what we've had to learn over the years, and even with, you know, some of the most recent events, is that, you know, that can bite you. And we are very capable of doing things that can bite ourselves. But that's why I do everything on stream. Like, I play a little bit on my own off stream, but it's always just, if I do that, I'm not grouping with anybody. I'm keeping it solo, and I just try to do everything that I do on stream. It's all recorded. You know,
he saves his good gameplay for off stream.
That's right. Yeah. That is correct. You know, we've had to make changes recently, and as Pantheon's grown, we've had to make changes to be more to kind of be a little bit more traditional in some of our interactions, and I think ultimately, for, you know, it's good. Back in the day, it was the total opposite. Like, you know, this project was like we were mostly a volunteer team. A lot of the team was from the community. It was very they're very interconnected, and we've definitely had to kind of work our way out of that mindset. It's taken a long time because we're so used to it. But I will say this, like, this is my, this is not only my livelihood. This is what I have invested the last, like, 12 years of my life in. This, as much as it depends on me, and to whatever degree I can exert any amount of power, energy, strength, talent, will, whatever, this game will succeed. This game will finish and succeed, and I am not going to do anything that would jeopardize that. I understand how quickly, favoritism and like weird dev stuff. I mean, I don't ever want to be associated with that. I don't ever want to do anything that would associate me with that. And part of the way that I guess I view it as like part of the way I protect myself from that is being so like here, present, like, and just I think there's enough there for people to make their own determination. I mean, at the end of the day, truly, like there is a decision point to say like this is above board. This person's trustworthy. This person's real. Like, you're never, unless you like live with somebody, you're never going to really be able to know truly. But I just, the hope is that there's enough out there to kind of like, like I said, I don't think things stay hidden. I just think they have a way of like making their way out there. So, yeah.
There's a gameplay thing from Lorf Joppa. So apparently when their Ravagers are ravaging, they're turning and moving. So you apparently have to face tank them if they aren't getting interrupted. Or it'll be devastating.
I like how you walked that back, Lorf. Very creative. Very creative. No, I hear you. Good to know.
That's awesome, Burgermeister.
Oh my. Oh my.
That is a lot of damage.
I love Arc of Light. Oh, I love Arc of Light. Wait, why don't I have... Guys. Why don't I have Luminous Surge on my bar?
Don't worry. I got Fairy Glow on my bar. Oh, you're dead. Did you die?
Did. Because I was in such a state of shock and disbelief.
Fairy Glow. There we go. I don't think it does anything. We're gonna pretend it does.
Why would I put new spells on my bar? Okay, Eleanor, you kind of cooked with that one. Hey, okay. I like that one. I like that one.
Hello, Zukin.
A little smirk. Work on that one. That was good.
Zukin.
Why would you put new spells on your bar? Why would you want to like? Why are you leveling up and buying new spells, scraping the gold, the silver together to buy a new spell? Why would you put that on your bar? Why would you use it?
I really appreciate that Zukin raided while Joppa's dead and I'm not.
Yo, Zukin, thank you so much for the raid, man. Good to see you.
It makes me very happy. Because Zukin has seen me die so many times.
I wasn't dead. I was
Resting.
Dealing with some of the crust. Clearly. It's really bad at this spot. Okay. I don't need this. So let's take this off the bar by right-clicking it, as you do. Healing glow, that already auto-updated. No, it didn't. Wait, are these not the same thing? What?
This is gonna be about my 20-minute warning as well, Joppa.
Okay, Roger. What if I just take that completely off my bar?
Tongue mopping? No. Oh God, Catalyst.
So what? Okay, that could be Shift G. Hold on now.
Big lumbering
Hold on, we got-
ogres in the game. Oh, like giant. I don't think.
Okay.
There's no like huge creatures in the game right now, right, Joppa? Like there's no like hill giant sized things.
The only thing is the Ancient Thorn Titan.
Yeah.
That's the only like mass, like
Yeah.
pseudo massive NPC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say like,
Oh yeah, the Skelly.
you got the giant skelly. You've got the white wyvern, which is smaller now than it used to be. So what? Karagos. Karagos would be another one but none of those really feel as like the Ancient Thorn Titan is really the main, and the Skelly, I guess. The Skelly's kind of gargantuan in a sense, so yeah. That's well, Wolfgar, it would have gone a lot longer had I not read your message. Let me loot my corpse. How about I do that? How about I do that?
Before the wipe, will we get another like end of server type thing event like we did at the end of seasons? Like, you know, when you summoned a lot of was it Karagos? Yeah. Because those are fun. Those were so much fun.
I agree they are fun. I want us to be doing, more GM events. I really do. Even if it's only like,
oh, what is this? Oh, thank you.
A couple of times a year. Really fun. Here we go, Luminous Surge. Boom. Yes. Wasn't needed. But
am I attacking the right one? Wait.
Okay. Don't look. Ooh. I gotta say, I really enjoy. I've really been enjoying player killing. It's fun to feel like I can just run around trying to get my bearings and still be productively healing. And I'm not even like a hot healer. It's fun. I would like for there to be a little bit more synergy, and we're gonna try and build a little more synergy between like your faster casting heals and your divine healing. I'm really itching for that, like the Wrath Holy Paladin, where you can get like a proc that makes your big heal free, or like dramatically reduces the cast time or something like that. It would be really fun to have some interaction like that. Yo, Garaxian, thanks so much for hanging out. Take care. Take care. What did you say, Redbeard? How much time did you say you had left?
20 minutes.
Okay. I'll probably plan on wrapping up around the same time. We've been going, almost.
We can go for a while.
Flew by.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. Yep, we're in a dungeon. We're in one of the first dungeons that you come to on the human side of things. It's called Hounir Cave. Hey, what's up, Mr. Jiggle? Good to see you. We are doing well. Thanks for asking. About vinyl availability, I would reach out on Discord about that if you're interested. Yeah.
There's something really fun about turning into a rat.
No, not on the PvP server, Brian.
Does the ground scout ever get faster? Like, does it upgrade?
There is not an upgrade for it right now. No. It's really slow though. I think it's bugged. It's just not meant to be that slow.
I was gonna say it's very slow. It jumps very high and fast. Oh, oops.
Yeah, it seems like something's
I was thinking about you earlier, North Wolf. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, up late. Yes. Isn't there some beans you want to spill before you all wrap up?
Always beans.
Beans. I've spilled a few beans. Yeah.
Oh, surnames, yeah. I think that question's been asked a couple times.
Oh, surnames, yes. Yes. Surnames are absolutely going to be a thing.
Well,
I can't say yet when they're coming in.
Do you think it'll be like EQ? Level 20 type thing?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. It will be pretty much exactly like EQ, except for there'll probably be a little bit more of there'll probably be an actual like element in the UI to allow you to do it instead of like typing in /surname. Like it'll just be a little more like of an elegant kind of way to do it. But otherwise, yeah, it'll be, the plan is level 20. Once you get level 20, you'll be able to choose a surname. Get a little burst of prestige for yourself.
So I could quite literally be Flynn's corpse. That would work great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can we have confetti rain from the sky when we get our surname?
Oh, cool, dude. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I would say right now Stormona would be the best server to make a character on. For sure. Dual streaming. Yeah. Yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we got to do this, Redbeard. It has been fun.
Yeah, it has. Thank you.
It's chill and play.
Been having a good time. I've died less than you, so yeah.
I don't.
Numbers are on the board, and you know. I think I'm actually. I have gained more experience. I'm catching up to you. I think that shows, right?
We'll have to check the stats. You know, like I said, you know, you're probably counting sometimes with crust cleaning and some various
the
things.
Crust cleaning.
Death. Yeah. Because you know you can't count those as deaths. you just really have to get down in there, and to get down in there, you really got to get low. So. Yeah. You've been keeping track. Red died 5 times. Joppa died 27.
I like that count. I have no notes. That's fantastic. We're gonna go with that. Thank you, Catalyst. No notes.
Look at that. Can you imagine sliding around like that? Whew. Decrusting.
We are dual streaming classified.
Yeah, let's
Actually, like
use the terminology.
Quads,
it's not
technically quad streaming.
It's not Java died 27 times. It's Java trained Lore 27 times. That's exactly how it should be thought of. This is a, it's important.
I have a request, Joppa. If you ever add titles to the game, like actual visible titles that show up to other people, can there be a title? And no matter however many times, it'd be 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, but a title that you get when you die a certain amount of times.
I think it's possible because we're very warm to an achievement system, and I think achievement systems that have some kind of fringe, silly, or just kind of unusual type things, not that that's super fringe or whatever, but that have a wide variety of the types of achievements you can get is cool. And I think something like that is kind of a cool little quirky achievement that you can choose to kind of wear as a badge of honor. I think it needs to be more than 100 times though.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be kind of crazy,
10,000.
Yeah, your 10,000th death, you get a something kind of cheeky.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
The cheekiest of titles. Crusty? Wait, would the title be Crusty? No.
I don't think so, because not everywhere is crusty. Not everywhere has that crust film.
Someone said Student of Ronick is the title.
Ronick's protege.
Lots of corpses everywhere.
Pavith, it's a big world. It's growing. It's going to continue to grow. Oh man, the aura of Two Pets, guys, come on, it's so cool. So cool. Sorry. Will the idea of additional races or classes being added later down the road be a possibility? Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Yep, we have our launch races and classes, and we absolutely have plans for additional classes. Now, what those will be and in what order, I have plans. I need to get some buy-in, on some of that. I have what I would like for us to jump into, but yeah, definitely will. Are the horse models final? Yes, but the customization options on them are intended to create different varieties. So, for example, a lot of people have an issue with the tail of the horse right now because of the way that it is. But having different types of tails, yes, different types of tails, different manes, different obviously colors and patterns and various things. There'll be a lot of variety.
I like the first iteration of taming. I had some fun with it.
I did too. Like, there's definitely some like rough around the edges-ness, and we need to get the gallop sprint stuff kind of dialed in a little bit better, feeling a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, the launch of the taming stuff, I definitely hopped in and kind of experienced it naturally, and it was fun.
First thing I did on my Necromancer. It made corpse runs a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Look at this aura here, guys. Goodness. Where's the other one?
I'm just getting... This is insane. Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, Aussie, there is no in-game map right now. We do have one planned, but part of there's a lot of like old school spirit and kind of old school DNA, and so while we do plan to have a map, it's not going to be a like a GPS kind of like super modern like kind of map. You're meant to kind of make a little bit. You're meant to kind of like kind of have to get your bearings, pay attention to the world a little bit more. But it is like it's in its most off-putting state right now because that map just doesn't exist yet. So it's like, yeah, there is no map, and so it's definitely like a bit of a barrier to entry for some people right now, and it's understandable. But just know that like it's coming, like it is planned, and not only that, but like we also, part of what we're aiming for in spring and then in summer, even more so, and then just ongoingly, is we want to continue to improve the starting experience. So when you create a new character, you have like more of a bit of a quest line that you can do for that class to kind of get you oriented and kind of taking your first steps. And so it's very it is a little raw in some ways right now with that, but if you do decide to push through that and want to kind of keep giving it a go, like it does get a lot better, and there's a lot of people to help and kind of give some guidance. And once you kind of get a feel for it, but yeah, we'll be improving those areas.
And it won't be a radar, right? It'll be the static map when the map does come in. That's still the plan.
Yeah.
Just like murder bushes. Oh yeah. This is just the zone to Halnir, Nicodemus. Also, hi Nicodemus. I don't know if I said hello to you. I apologize. I hope you're doing well.
Got a stalker ad incoming as well. Okay.
We are killing these pretty fast, honestly. Is that for them or?
I'm not sure.
I don't know either. It does get confusing when there's multiple people here at this little zone in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the first thing we did when we got in here, is I tried to attack someone else's mob, but you know, it is what it is. Have you jumped into Project Gorgon yet? I have not, but I do want to, Dizzy. I want to try it out. I know I've heard it can be fun, it can be frustrating, it can be very interesting, but I want to try it out now that's 1.0. I heard they're opening up a third server though. I just jumped into the wall and started climbing.
Is this ours?
I don't know.
I am confused. I'm so confused. Oh my.
All right. I think that's maybe one more pull. If not, then that might be it for me.
Cool. Understood.
Do you have someone you want to raid, or do you want to just call it? Yeah, I do want to get the death skill. Grix.
Let's see. I will let you decide, Redbeard. Do I need to raid, or is it something that the shared thing, like we would just automatically...
we have to do it at the same time. Like we both have to do it. Unfortunately, it is not something that we can do. But I'm going to say bye on YouTube because I don't have anyone to raid on YouTube. So, Joppa, do you want to say bye on YouTube too? Oh, did we pull? Wait.
I think we did.
We did. Okay. Let's murder first. Murder and then bye to YouTube.
Sounds good.
Dang, I got how many levels? I came in at level 11. I am now almost halfway into halfway into 14.
That's awesome.
I have some spells to go by. Or skills, both, you know.
Oh. Yeah, I am a little less than 2 bubbles away from 16.
Dang, nice.
Just
don't leave YouTube.
Cannot see.
Okay, there we go.
I want to use that.
Okay,
Boom.
Okay. Boom. Okay. Now I'm gonna go here.
Nice.
All right. Now I'm gonna say goodbye to YouTube. Do you want to say bye to YouTube over there, and anyone who may be watching after the fact, Joppa?
I do want to say bye to YouTube. I'm not cutting my YouTube stream just yet, but I'm going to say bye to those watching on Redbeard side. Guys, thank you so much. And I'm just going to say it to everybody, all of you, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was fun. Kind of a little bit of a shaken up kind of, I guess, well, really for both of us, since it's the first time we've streamed together like this. So
yeah.
I would love to do this again.
Sure.
But it's really fun, and just appreciate all of you guys being here and hanging out and the questions, and the chatter was a really fun time. So thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you on YouTube, and we're gonna raid off on Twitch. Appreciate you all very, very much. And this was the first time we have Joppa and I have done collaborations before, but it's always been off stream. So this is the first time it's been live. So